It's been a long time since I've watched Wizards of Waverly Place,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure it was a thing that like the wizard population is dying, right? There's like not a lot of wizards.
There's an answer for that. Yeah.
No fucking shit, it's dying when you only allow one person in your family
who loses their powers if they marry a mortal.
Yeah, well then they just give it to a sibling. But like only one person gets to keep their powers? Being a wizard sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Why does one person get to keep it? Like, are they worried about too many wizards having powers and like exposing themselves?
I think it's because they need the wizards to be powerful enough to do it. But this movie and also the show is very weird with the power dynamics because some of the easy hand wavy spells are extremely powerful and some of the spells that you need like specific books and wands and the full family power for are not. So I don't get the Wizards universe is very consistent in every time it says a rule, it sticks to that rule being true, except for like the wizard competition, but whatever.
Yeah.
But also it's very dumb. Who created this?
That's a good question.
Like it's obviously the creators of the show, but like at what point in the world building session do they go, oh, we're cooking right now? They're going to be in a family competition, so only one of them gets to be wizard, but they all get to be wizards now.
Yeah, you get to be a wizard as a kid, and I guess
when you're the most vulnerable to being like attacked or susceptible to going dark. I don't know.
I guess like your power is just weaker. Like you share the entire family power within however many siblings there are. So in this instance, 3. So does that mean like when Max was born, they're like, now our power is only a third instead of half power?
The magic system in Wizards makes no sense. And I feel like we're not the only people who have talked about this.
But you know what? I'm here for it.
At least they're consistent.
Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm Benji.
I'm Kelsey.
And we're the DCOM Duo. And today we're talking about Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie.
The movie.
Not the show, the movie.
The movie.
Because we cover DCOM, Disney Channel Original Movies. Not the shows.
Yeah. This is one that is based on a show, one of the most popular Disney Channel shows.
Yeah, it's put it in my factos later, but it's the second most watched DCOM period.
Like Premiere?
Yeah. This was not only based on a Disney Channel show, it was based on a very popular Disney Channel show.
Yeah, this and Hannah Montana of their era were, I think, the biggest. Sweet Life was big too.
But I think both of those were bigger than Sweet Life.
Yeah, I think so too.
So this was a big deal. And for one of very few, I feel, it's one of the better examples of how to do a TV movie based on a show right.
Yeah, it does a lot of things right. The biggest flaw actually doesn't come from the movie. It comes from the show in the finale with being less consistent with the movie. Which for the most part, this movie can be just standalone. Like they go on vacation. It's classic. Like Vacation, a lot of these don't have consequences for the overarching plot of the show. Unfortunately, this did have something to do with the overarching plot of the show, which, like, if you're here wanting not to get spoiled, too bad. Like,
if you clicked onto Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, a podcast going over the full movie, we're going to spoil not only the movie, we're going to spoil the show.
Yeah. A bit.
Thanks for tuning in, but you might want to sit this one out if that's what you care about. We got a lot of other movies that we've covered.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that a big part of the show is that they're going to get to this final wizard competition where one of them is going to be the final wizard. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, they show how that final competition plays out.
And it does not fit with how it actually gets shown in the finale. We'll talk about that when we actually get to that.
Yeah, it's just, they completely change it. And so for that, it is inconsistent with the show. But that's a choice the show made well after the movie was made, because this movie came out like in the middle of the show era.
This was a peak era for the show.
Yeah.
which is probably why it went well compared to, say, the Sweet Life movie, which we also covered.
Which was right at the end.
Very bad. And if you don't believe us, go back and rewatch it and you'll understand. And that's when all the characters was like flanderized. And I feel like if they made this movie right at the end of Wizards, it would have been a lot worse.
It almost certainly would.
Because a lot of this is on the strength of Justin and Alex's character.
And their relationship.
And their characters got a lot worse as the show went on, just because being on a show for a while, you get flanderized.
Yeah.
All right, but we'll talk about all that stuff as we get to the scenes on it. But before that, we got to do the factos. And before the factos, we've got fan mail.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't have fan mail. But if you want to send us fan mail, either about Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, Wizards of Waverly Place, the TV show, any other DCOM, or anything in general, we're always game to hear it. You can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com. You can also comment on our YouTube, comment on Spotify, I believe you can. Anyway, which way, you're welcome to do that. And with that, we'll move on into the factos. So, this film released August 28th, 2009.
Nice.
And it was the 77th DCOM. So, about 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah.
Got the nice little fun 77. The director was Lev L. Spiro. Or it might be Spyro. I don't know the actual pronouncement. He directed Minutemen. That's the other DCOM that he did.
Banger.
We're big Minutemen fans.
Hell yeah.
Excited to talk about that when we get there, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So these are his only 2 DCOMs that he did, and that's got to be one of the best track records, because I feel like all the directors that we cover that do multiple have at least one stinker.
Yeah.
And these 2 are both at least good.
Yeah, it helps when you only have 2. And, you know, they're decent ones. I'd say they're both around our same ranking kind of area, where it's like, yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. I do think Minutemen's better, but we'll get to that when we get to Minutemen.
Yeah.
He is a pretty prolific TV director, actually. He's done episodes, not many, usually like 3 or 4 episodes of a lot of shows that people have heard of. This is not a full list, but Everybody Hates Chris, Orange is the New Black, The OC, Gilmore Girls, Arrested Development, Dawson's Creek, Modern Family, Weeds. He does dramas, he does comedies. He just is I do direction for TV. That's my job, and he's pretty good at it.
Cool.
Other than that, he has really done very few films. I noted down Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3.
Not the other Beverly Hills
Not the other ones, only Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3.
The third one. I don't know if I've seen the third one, but I did watch at least the first one as a kid.
I think it was a direct-to-video release. And then for the cast, basically everyone in this cast is on the show.
Yeah, the main
Only
cast.
The main villain is the only person we're going to be talking about here who's not.
Yeah, the main cast is on the show. It's nice that, like, the movie really does just keep this. It feels
like an episode of the show with a higher budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's you get to see multiple camera angles of each of the sets.
Which is it's always weird.
Kind of weird
when a show goes to a movie and like the camera quality is better, and yeah, you get different angles instead of like that sitcom feel with the one camera.
It goes from a one camera to a multi-camera setup.
It's weird.
Yeah. So playing the role of Alex Russo is Selena Gomez.
Of course.
I feel like I say this every other episode about someone, but this is what I feel actually pretty confident in. Out of all child stars, and arguably out of all stars in general, Selena Gomez is the most famous person in a DCOM. Miley Cyrus maybe could fight for it, but Miley Cyrus isn't in a DCOM because Hannah Montana the movie is not a DCOM.
That was theatrically released. Yes. And Wizards was not.
Yes, Wizards was not. She's also in Princess Protection Program, which is also another DCOM. But that's for that day. She actually got her start on Barney. Feel like I always find that interesting when people get started on Barney. She starred in the Hotel Transylvania films. She was the executive producer for 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, she was originally going to star in 13 Reasons Why. Like
she kind of got aged out of it.
It was years before it actually came out. And then she aged out of it. She's like, I'm not right for this role anymore. But she had a big hand in that.
Yeah. And she both executive produced and stars in Only Murders in the Building.
Great show.
So, a lot of big stuff. She's a massive deal in her acting and producing ways.
She did a lot of movies also. Like, like right after Disney, that kind of era. Like she did.
She had no real transitionary period.
Yeah, she did another Cinderella story with Drew Seeley, who was the singing voice of Troy in the first High School Musical. I remember she did like Ramona and Beezus. Wasn't there like some like Monte Carlo movie or something? I don't remember. She did some movies while she was still like really young.
Yeah, I didn't write everything down because honestly, people know who Selena Gomez is.
Yeah.
She, as I've said, is huge, and I felt like I didn't need to go wax poetic on every word and thing she's done. All that stuff she did in the acting world probably trumped by her music career. I would call her more of a musician than an actor.
She actually does have a big music career. Like, she's had a lot of hits.
She's had 3 #1 albums on Billboard.
Wow.
9 top 10 hits. She's had 1 #1 hit. That was Lose You to Love Me.
I'm pretty sure that song was for 13 Reasons Why also.
I thought
no. Sorry, that was a different one. That was the You're Stuck in My Head and I Can Get You Out of It if I Can Do It All Again. I know. I go back to use that one. Yeah. Lose You to Love Me was a different song.
Lose You to Love Me was their song about breaking up with Justin Bieber. Which that was a whole thing as well.
Oh yeah, she was very famously dating Justin Bieber for a bit. While. Yeah.
She got other big hits is recently she had Calm Down. She was a featured artist on that, but that was a giant hit.
Whoa. That one, right?
Yeah.
Wait, was it that one?
Some other ones are Same Old Love, Come and Get It, It Ain't Me, Love You Like a Love Song. I'm just listing a few of the big ones. She has a lot of hits. You've heard her.
I just want a good
I've always been annoyed. We talked about this before. We both think Selena Gomez is close, but not good enough for us.
Yeah, like she's had a lot of hits on the radio, and I don't like necessarily dislike her hits, but I don't love them. Like they're really close to something I would be really into, but not quite there.
She has yet to have a song that I'm passionate about. Like maybe Wolves. I do like Wolves, but even then, like it's nothing that special, and that's my issue with her. Is I feel like if she didn't have the fandom existing already from her Disney Channel times and then her other acting credits, she probably wouldn't be as big in the pop world as she is. But whatever. People can have their own opinions on that. Music's very subjective. That's just our take on it. And there are definitely much worse artists that I hear on the radio. So I'm not going to complain much about it. At one point, she was the most followed person on all of Instagram.
Yeah.
For several years. She's now 3rd place. Still the most followed woman. But Ronaldo and Messi both have her beat.
That's crazy. They both were like, yeah, soccer.
I think they made a big push in advertising on Instagram for the last World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's why. But yeah, she's still right up there. That's what we got to say about Selena Gomez. Again, could say a lot more, but people know a lot already. Don't need to go too far. Playing the role of Justin Russo is David Henry. He had recurring roles on That's So Raven and How I Met Your Mother.
I don't remember him on That's So Raven, but not that I like was really old enough to remember a lot of That's So Raven, but I did watch it as a kid.
In How I Met Your Mother, he played Ted Mosby, the main character of How I Met Your Mother's son, who's getting told the story.
It's like the whole premise of the show. So you can catch him in little snippets throughout the show.
It's something like he's in like 60 episodes, but he probably only has lines in like 10.
I don't, maybe even less. I guess he had a lot more in the first season. Because in the first season, they were really laying into like, yes, I'm telling you this story. And then as the show goes on, I think they're like, we don't want to keep filming these kids as they grow up.
Because as the kids grow up, it breaks the immersion of this is all being told in one night.
Yeah, so they like kind of drop it. They occasionally showed like the same clip of them like just sitting there on a couch. And then in the finale, they brought it back and it was so obvious that they filmed it way back when the show started.
Yeah.
And they definitely should have changed the ending, but they didn't want to.
Yeah. I mean, that's a How I Met Your Mother discussion.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about.
He did fine in it. I feel like he barely did anything. Yeah. So
we're talking about Disney Channel original movies, which is why I'll mention he was also in the Disney Channel original movie Dad Napped.
That he was. Yeah, that's another discussion.
Yep. Dad Napped's bad. Anyway, he was also in Grown Ups 2, Paul Blart 2, Little Boy, Walt Before Mickey, and he's actually going to be starring in, there's an upcoming Ronald Reagan biopic called Reagan, where he's going to be Ronald Reagan for like a younger version of Ronald Reagan for some scenes.
Interesting.
He's not the main Reagan star, but I feel like that's a pretty big role to be Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he is currently executive producing and will star in Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. That's the upcoming new Disney Channel, Disney Plus show, which is just a spin-off of Wizards of Waverly Place.
What the heck?
Yeah. He will. You asked me, is Bridget Mendler coming back? The answer is no. He's married to someone else in the show.
What?
Yeah.
What happened to Bridget Mendler's character?
I don't know.
They were Endgame.
Apparently not.
Juliet? Hello?
Yeah. When I looked up the Wikipedia page on Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, it showed the whole cast, and it showed it's Justin and his kids and his wife, who was not Bridget Mendler.
So it's about Justin's kids?
Yes.
Wow. I'm sorry. So put Bridget Mendler on the phone right now. And
she's too busy saving lives and getting 1,000,000 degrees.
She needs to come back and reprise her role as Juliet Miss Russo, the vampire who falls in love with Justin. Please.
All right. Moving on to Max Russo. Max Russo is played by Jake T. Austin. His most famous role probably is he was Diego in Go Diego Go.
Let's fucking go.
Which is something I did not know until this moment.
Go Diego go.
And
I didn't know that either.
I presume he was also in the Dora when Dora
I don't
had.
think he was really in Dora that much.
But he was for multiple episodes, Diego.
And then he got his own show.
Yeah. But it was like a whole spin-off show. So that go JT Austin for that. The other DCOM he was in is Johnny Capahala Back on Board.
I forgot about that.
I also
you know why I
forgot
forgot? That movie's boring as hell.
We love it, Johnny Tsunami.
Yeah.
Johnny Capahala Back on Board.
Boring as hell.
I could not get on board myself. JT Austin also had roles in, like, big roles in Hotel for Dogs.
That movie slaps, okay?
Okay, if you're talking about movies that slap, the Emoji Movie.
Oh, no.
He was the kid whose phone had the emojis in the Emoji Movie.
He was?
Yeah.
Damn.
He was in the Rio movies.
And animated?
The animated bird.
But he wasn't
he was a human.
Bird. Oh, he was a human.
Yeah, he was like the human who took care of the bird, I think, in...
Well, no, that was a woman. You mean like the other guy?
It was someone. I didn't write down the character names.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. You can look it up if you want.
Yeah.
And then he also had a big role in The Fosters.
With Maya Mitchell?
I think so.
She's also on The Fosters.
So, yeah, I was kind of shocked how big his, like, acting history is. There's a lot of stuff to that.
Yeah. He's a good little actor.
Yeah. Playing the role of Teresa Russo.
The mom.
Is Maria Canals Barrera.
Mm-hmm.
She is someone we've already talked about because she's the mom in Camp Rock, too.
Yeah.
And also in Camp Rock 2. And also the Proud Family movie. So she's in 4 DCOMs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even really realize that she's in Proud Family.
Yeah, I don't think she's one of the main roles.
Oh, okay.
But she is in both the movie and the show, so.
Yeah. It's sweet that she landed Camp Rock, which is just fun because everyone could be like, oh my gosh, that's the mom
Miss Mama
in
Russo.
Wizards. And now she's in Camp Rock also.
She's done a lot of voice acting as well. She was Hawkgirl in the whole DC animated universe.
Okay.
She was in the Proud Family, as we talked about. And she was in Danny Phantom.
Love Danny Phantom.
So beyond that, a bunch of various other TV roles, mix of voice and live acting. She's had a fruitful career. Yeah. But I would say her most famous stuff is the Disney stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Playing the role of Jerry Russo is David DeLuise. He's had a lot of roles in old TV, but not much that actually stands out. I would argue Wizard is his biggest role. It's one of his only few main roles in anything he's done. He's done like one episode stints on popular shows, like a lot of the old actors have done. This was his break, really.
I think I remember him seen in another show, and I could not tell you what that is now, but I was like, that's the dad from Wizards.
Yeah. Now he hosts the Wizards of Waverly pod with Jennifer Stone, who plays Harper.
It's a rewatch podcast.
Yeah, it's one of the several rewatch podcasts. It's about Wizards of Waverly Place. Mm-hmm. We can't talk down on them. We're doing a rewatch podcast, but we're not a part of it.
We're not part of the cast, though. What an odd choosing, which, I mean, they're probably just the only two that wanted to do it.
That's what it is.
Of the dad and the friend.
The other people in the main cast are all much more successful in their career.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it is. It's why you can get the whole Ned's Declassified cast back, because they're not doing anything. They don't have that successful careers.
That's true.
You can't get Selena Gomez in on a rewatch podcast. That is not worth her time.
No, definitely not.
You can maybe get her for an episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Jerry Russo's actor, David Luce, has also done some directing of kids shows. Like, he did several episodes of Wizards. He was the director for it.
Cool.
Yeah, some other ones too, but that's all I have to say about him. Playing our main villain, probably, I would call him a villain, is Steve Valentine. He plays the role of Archie, the magician.
Steve Valentine. This is the final time we will talk about him.
We have talked about him 4 times now. We've
this
talked
is the
3
4th
times
time. Yeah.
Here before. 4 now. So, already said a lot about him. He was in Avalon High. He was in Teen Beach Movie. He was in Don't Look Under the Bed.
All as the villain.
All as the primary villain.
And here, he is a villain, but also, like, barely.
But he's barely a villain. He's not being evil on purpose.
No, he's evil, like, at one point of the whole movie, and it's barely...
But he never has the right vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a real-life magician, and that's why he's played a magician in this movie. You could do some sleight of hand for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. He was in the Disney XD show I'm in the Band. He's in the still current Monster High films. Mm-hmm. And he was in the Dragon Age video games.
Of course, as Alistair.
Yeah. And we've already talked about him a lot, so we're just going to skip through that.
Yeah, but props to you, Steve Valentine. We have watched all 4 of your DCOMs now.
Yeah.
Great work. We will never talk about you again on this podcast. Goodbye.
Well, we'll talk about him this podcast, but never after.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm going to mention Jennifer Stone, who plays Harper Finkel, because she is in this movie. It's not a lot in this movie.
And this would be her only DCOM.
No.
What?
Believe it or not, no. Not only is she in Harriet the Spy Blog Wars.
That's not a DCOM.
Which is a fake DCOM, but one of the most arguable DCOMs that are not DCOMs. Eventually, I'll get to my video on what is a DCOM and what's not. I need to make that because there's some confusion in the world. She was actually a voice role in Dadnapped.
What voice roles are there in Dadnapped?
I don't know, but it's on her IMDb. She's in Dadnapped.
This is the only DCOM she shows her face.
That's true. She was also in Mean Girls 2.
Wow.
Very exciting. She had a main role in the Nickelodeon show Dead Time Stories.
I was surprised she was able to flip-flop. Like, was that before or after Wizards?
I believe it was after Wizards.
That's kind of surprising me that she was able to, like...
I wonder if Disney just didn't want her anymore.
Yeah, that's possible.
She also hosts the Wizards podcast, as we already talked about. She got significant critical praise on this small indie film, The In-Between. She wrote it and starred in it, and it won several film festivals.
Wow.
So, apparently she's got some good creativity on that. It's like a road trip trauma building movie about people with
trauma.
Not trauma, it's they're gonna die. What's the terminal illness? So struggling for that. So apparently that's really good. I haven't seen it. It's an indie film. They're hard to seek out and watch.
Yeah. Okay, let's just put it in now. If you hear squeaking, if you hear little honks, that's our dog. Sorry.
Jennifer Stone is also a registered nurse who actively works in an ER when she's not acting.
What the heck?
Which I thought was wild.
You said Disney money to pay for nursing school.
Yeah. So good for her.
Good for her.
All right. Some fun facts about the movie. This won the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program, which is usually kind of a big deal, winning a Primetime Emmy. It beat the show, which is interesting.
It's a pretty good movie. Like, yeah. Not gonna lie.
I get it. 11.4 million people watched the premiere. It was the second most watched DCOM of all time.
Who can guess the first?
It's High School Musical 2.
Yeah.
We didn't give you time to guess. There was a sequel in development shortly after.
For the movie?
For the movie.
Huh.
They were going to make another movie, but ultimately it wasn't getting developed. It felt dead, but eventually it did get revived, and it ultimately turned into a TV special called The Wizards Return, Alex versus Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an epilogue to the show.
Yeah, that's something I heard about, like, more recently. Like, I didn't know about it when it came out, and it's weird to me that it exists.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I know about this?
I haven't seen it. It is not a DCOM.
No.
It is a TV special, but that's what the proposed sequel turned into. Selena Gomez recorded a cover of Magic for the movie.
Oh, 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 it's magic.
Yeah. It debuted at number 61 on the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah. So it turned into a hit song itself. Yeah. And then a version of the film featuring behind the scenes info during, like, while the film's rolling was aired during an October Wizard marathon. Like, they did a whole marathon of everything, but so there's multiple versions of the film out.
That's fun.
Which is usually not multiple versions of that. And also the DVD version of the movie came with a replica Stone of Dreams necklace. So you could, if you bought the DVD, you'd have a necklace to wear of the Stone of Dreams.
That's awesome.
Which seems kind of like,
that's so cheesy.
So cheesy. So extra.
It's like stuff you used to get prizes in cereal boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that kind of vibe.
Man, how is it financially viable to put, like, backyard baseball in a box of cereal?
I don't know, but I'm so glad I did, because then I got to play backyard baseball.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, too.
I didn't have that from a cereal box. I don't think.
Pretty
But
wild.
I did have backyard baseball. I also had, like, Operation, the computer game. And Spy Fox?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Spy Fox dry cereal?
Yeah, I wonder if that came into cereal or if we just had it. I don't remember. Anyway. Cool. You ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Oh, I am ready for the Disney Plus subscription.
Cool. The Russos are your average family next door. Dun, dun, dun. Family of wizards, that is. With 3 kids who are wizards in training. But while on vacation, Alex, Selena Gomez, accidentally casts a spell that threatens her family's very existence. Max, JT Austin, tries to keep his parents together while Alex and Justin, David Henry, use every trick they know as they search for the Stone of Dreams to reverse the spell, ... and save their family.
It would be fine except for the fact you don't get to use 2 ellipses in one Disney Plus subscription.
Especially when both of them are unnecessary.
Neither of the, yeah. You have to reverse the spell ... and save their family. Like, yeah, that's we know you need that. That's like the whole point.
They're really trying to do something like, no. Pause for dramatic effect and save their family. Also, the pause. Family of wizards, that is like, that is so not needed. Come on, Disney Plus. You weren't cooking with this one. They thought they were cooking.
I mean, yeah, they always think they're cooking, but sometimes they just get facts wrong. At least this one they get facts wrong.
That's true.
But it had multiple ellipses, which is pretty bad.
I can't believe you didn't mention anything about the family wizard competition.
Well, they're keeping that a secret, unlike us.
Yeah. Are you ready to jump into the movie?
Oh, let me tell you, I'm ready to Kim Possible movie sew the drama right into this.
Hell yeah. All
right.
right.
You always say hell yeah after I say whatever I say.
No, I don't.
cut back to the last 10 episodes. It's just, hell yeah.
Disney Channel original movie. It says it.
It says it, so you know it's a Disney Channel original movie. Not all of them say it, but
most of them do. We get Magic by the Cars playing, which I thought was fun.
Except it's a cover.
Uh-oh, it's magic when I'm with you. Uh-oh, it's magic. In case you didn't know what that song was.
Literally, they love playing pop music that says the word magic.
Yeah.
They do it like 5 times through the movie.
Why wouldn't they?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's very clear their entire music search was just finding songs that say magic and fitting it in.
Hell yeah. don't say anything. We cut to Alex. She is looking through Justin's bag like the scoundrel she is.
She says very quietly, "Justin, can I look through your bag?"
Okay, thank you. Obviously, she wasn't actually asking for permission. She finds a magic book.
Whoa.
But then the bag eats her arms and then the whole top half of her body to a point where she's just legs.
I feel like I've seen animated styles where it's just legs, but your top half is cut up and covered by a bag. Yeah. I feel like this is somehow not unique to this movie because I feel like I've seen this joke
But
before.
It's magical.
But it's magic and it's whimsical.
Justin comes in and is like, haha, I knew you would do this, so I put a spell on the bag.
Instead of just taking his bag back or sealing it.
I don't know. Dad's like, come on, Justin, let her go. And so he lets her go and she's out of the bag. And Alex is like, well, I found the family wand in the Book of Forbidden Spells in the bag, so that means he took it. And it turns out, nope, Dad just let him borrow it. And Alex is like, what the heck? We were told that we weren't allowed to have it yet, that we weren't ready. And apparently Justin is ready. And Dad's like, well,
drama.
You could maybe use it if you ever pass an exam or even show up to an exam.
Yeah. If you don't know the show, which if you're watching this, you should have some familiarity with the show. It's very much Justin's the know-it-all goody two-shoes who's a bit of a dick, but in an admirable way. And right now, he's kind of the asshole you cheer for a little bit, but not mainly, which is a very delicate balance that they have not broken yet. They break it later on in the show, just gradually, where he just becomes insufferable.
And Alex doesn't really care as much. She likes to get into trouble.
She's got more natural talent than Justin, which is something I really like what this movie drives.
They really focus on it, in this
how
movie.
It's a talent versus drive.
Yeah. And then Max is their youngest brother who's just kind of a little dumb and doesn't care that much about all of it.
He is the pure comic relief character, more or less, which actually he by far seems the most happy with his situation. I feel like he should win the Family Wizard competition. He won't. He doesn't in either variation.
No.
But I think that would be the funniest because he would be the one that's happiest both with and without it.
Yeah. It's pretty clear with throughout the show that Max was never going to be the one to win. I think by the end of the show, they were polling the audience of who do you think's going to win? I'm not even sure Max was an option.
I don't think he was.
Nobody ever thought he was going to win. And the show never makes you think that that's even a possibility. It's always the struggle between Justin and Alex.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Alex says oh, that's so not fair. And then the mom comes in and she's like, behave, kids. And then Alex returns the stuff to the bag, but actually she keeps the spell book and just returns the wand, which apparently Justin just never notices that the book didn't get returned.
He is too busy being happy with himself.
Yeah. So we learn that they're packing up for vacation.
Because they're going to have a fun time in the Caribbean.
So then Harper comes over. Alex wants to go to this party in Brooklyn, and the mom says no. So mom and dad are leaving.
They're having a date night.
Yeah, they're having a date night. And
right before a vacation, which kind of feels a little weird, but whatever.
I mean, it's family vacation. Yeah. So they're let's have a date night before the family vacation, I guess. Maybe they had like dinner plans with friends or something.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of options. Maybe they're going to the party.
Yeah. And the mom's like, no, you're not allowed to go to this party in Brooklyn. Like, I don't want you out in Brooklyn. I don't know who the parents are. Like, no, you're not allowed. And Alex says, why are you destroying my life? It's classic.
Alex is very much the 16-year-old who hates their mom, but doesn't hate their mom.
Yeah. And so she said, why are you destroying my life? And the mom said, that's exactly the same thing you said to me to get out of going on family vacation. And Alex is like, well, it worked then. So Alex is not going on the family vacation. She's staying with Harper for like the 2 weeks that they'd be gone in the Caribbean.
Which I feel like is a total L on Alex's part. It
really is. Like, she's like, I don't want to spend 2 weeks with my family, which, okay, but don't you want to go to the Caribbean? Like,
yeah, also, spoiler alert, she's going to go on the vacation.
Yeah, duh.
How does she get a plane ticket in time? How does all of that
maybe they were able to get a deal.
Maybe
there was a spot left on the plane. I don't know.
I'm also amazed with how much money they have, but I guess they're wizards, so maybe he just counterfeits. I don't know.
They own a sandwich shop.
Yeah, but how is that going to be successful? You see how much real estate they have in their sandwich shop in New York? There's no way they're paying that rent on sandwiches.
Oh yeah, they are in New York because they literally just mentioned Brooklyn. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just have money. Maybe he sold some of his wizard artifacts.
Yeah, I'm saying he taught Justin how to counterfeit money at a young age.
Okay. The mom says, since I'm leaving you behind on the vacation, like, just go easy on me and stay home. Don't go to this party. And the dad's like, yeah, no leaving this building or whatever when he leaves. And then when they leave, Alex tells Harper, like, oh yeah, we're still going to the party. We're just going to go without leaving the building. So their like diner, their sandwich little diner, it's called like the Subway.
Yeah, they sell sub sandwiches
in like a Subway themed diner. And they have
not like Subway the restaurant.
Not like Subway the restaurant, like an actual like New York Subway. And in there they have like a mock Subway car that you can like sit in, which is actually pretty cute. Alex like enchants it so that it's going through the tunnels of the actual subway.
Yep. And we get this whole action scene of going through the subway.
Yeah. And Harper's freaking out, but Alex is like, chill. Like, I got this. And Harper's like, we're going the wrong way. And Alex is like, oh, whoops, I have the map upside down. Silly me. And then does a spell to make it go the right way. And then they turn, like, the subway stops and starts going the other way. And they're freaking out. And Alex is using the forbidden spells from the book that she stole. And Harper's like, why are you using forbidden spells? And Alex is like, well, it would work better if I had the family wand, but I don't. So, like, the spells don't work.
She's entitled, exactly. It's unjustified entitlement for. She's upset that Justin got it first, but A, Justin's older.
Probably by like a year.
Yeah. But also B, I would say more importantly, Justin's clearly better and more responsible.
Yeah.
So she's upset that she's not given the same trust as him, but she's done nothing to earn it.
Like every episode of the show, she like messes up and has to fix it.
That's like the whole recurring cycle of the show.
Yeah. Okay, then they like almost run into some other subways, but they don't. And then they're about to run into a wall and Alex starts waving her wand around and then they're back to safety in the diner and she's like, I did it. Yeah. And Justin's like, actually, I saved it with the family wand.
Because I'm so cool.
And normally I would tell on you, but I don't want to ruin the family vacation coming up, okay? And I bet he's thinking like, if she gets in trouble, she might have to come with, and I don't want her to come with.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably both looking to time off from each other.
Yeah. So Justin's like, I don't want to ruin the vacation, so I'm not going to say anything. And Alex says, great, because they're not going to hear anything from me. And Justin says, you want to know why they won't hear anything from me? And Alex says, didn't we just have this conversation?
This is like why their relationship works so well it works.
Yeah.
And this is during the time when it works. I know I sound like I keep harping on the later seasons of the show, and honestly, I didn't watch too much of it near the end.
But like as of right now, their relationship is really good.
It's when the show is firing on all cylinders. Is their relationship is the core mechanic that's driving it.
Brother sister.
Their brother sister rivalry, where one is just trying way harder and way more responsible and careful, and still doesn't win all the time, and that grinds his gears.
Yeah. But he says, "You want to know why they won't hear anything from me?" And he says, "Because I just did my first spell using a full-powered wizard wand, and it worked perfectly." But then the subway front like crashes down.
Yeah, the siding of the subway car falls down because it was getting all scratched up by the other subway cars. And
he goes, well, almost perfectly. And then the parents come home.
They didn't have time to fix it.
And then Harper's like, well, I'm going to leave. Bye.
How long were they gone on the subway train?
Probably like... Because by the time she figured out the spell. Yeah, probably by the time she figured out the spell, it's probably like an hour.
Felt very quick for the parents.
I don't know. All right. So, cut to Alex packing. She has to go on vacation now. She can't stay with Harper anymore, and she's really frustrated about it. She said she doesn't want to spend 2 weeks on full-on family mode. Harper's like, do you think you guys are gonna wear matching outfits? Because that would be lame.
Harper loves matching outfits.
Harper's outfits are iconic on the show.
Yeah.
I always remember.
This is just the era of Disney Channel wearing a bunch of hats and having fun fashion with layers.
But like Harper specifically had really funky stuff. Yeah. One I really remember is her marker dress, where it's just a bunch of different colorful markers. Yeah. Anyway, Alex also mentions that she wants to win the wizard competition, it's good that they're explaining it.
They're dropping a bunch of exposition that's going to matter later.
Yeah. It's good that they are like bringing up the wizard competition and kind of how it works. Not like the logistics of the competition, but like only one of the siblings can win the competition. And Harper brings up like, oh, it's funny that your dad gave up his family powers because he fell in love with a mortal. Like, Alex like, I still can't believe he did that. And Harper's like, it sounds romantic. And the mom's like, it was romantic. Like, she shows up in the door. So it's good that they're explaining that, like, yes, the dad was a wizard. He won his family competition, but then he gave up his powers to be with their mom.
They're making sure those key facts are known, and they do hammer it in probably too hard, but it's plot relevant why
it's very plot relevant, yeah.
It's the most important thing in the plot to get through in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, and if you haven't really watched the show that much,
it's easy to gloss over that.
Yeah, it's important to know. So then the mom comes in and Alex is still mad and Harper's like, I'm going to leave. I think that's the last we see of Harper in the whole movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all she does is show up, go on a subway car ride, says, I'm going to leave, then comes back to talk to Alex as she's packing and then says, I'm going to leave. Yep. And then she doesn't come back again.
Gone, which honestly, she's not really needed in this movie.
No. And that's why she's not considered a star in this movie. She's considered part of the main cast of the show.
Yes. Yeah.
But she's not a part of the movie's main cast. I wouldn't have mentioned her if it wasn't for the fact that she's in the show and is probably worth talking for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So mom's like, you want me to help you or whatever? And Alan's like, no. And mom's like, fine, but someday I might not be here to help you. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadow.
And then Alex uses magic to pack up her suitcase. She's like, done. And the mom's like, and then she does the magic to unpack. She's like, undone.
You gotta remember, the mom's the only one who's never experienced what it's like to have magic.
Yeah. And she goes, that's it. This vacation is a magic-free zone. No wands, no magic. The boys also have to give up their wands, so they like get confiscated. And Max is like, I don't want to give up my wand. Look, I can do a spell. And he makes a bunch of goats appear in the diner. And he's like, they were supposed to be tigers. Oh. I don't know why this joke was needed.
It wasn't, but it's because Max has to do some magic sometimes.
I guess. Justin's like, but I have to do magic. We're going to the Caribbean, which is one of the most magical places on earth.
Completely never talked about.
It's so random. I'm just, apparently, we know this because he just said it.
I feel like they should have just said they were going to, like, specifically Bermuda, and then they could do, like, a Bermuda Triangle type thing.
Maybe they didn't want to ham that far into it.
Yeah, but it's just like, this feels so random and not earned.
Yeah. Where like apparently the Caribbean's one of the most magical places, and the place they're going has a bunch of like magic
artifacts.
Not artifact, like
ruins.
Sites. Yeah, ruins. Like sightseeing stuff. Which is weird because like the mortals also know about it. So is it real, or is it just the mortals think it's like fake magic stuff?
I don't know.
We
never really get to know what country they go to.
No, we don't. We just know that they're going to the Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
Yeah, that's a country, right?
No.
Yeah. All right. So then Justin and Max finish packing. So does Alex. She has the forbidden spell book. Still, she brings it with.
Ooh, so crazy.
So crazy. And then, oh my gosh, they're wearing matching outfits, which I actually think the matching outfits are really cute because the girls are wearing these like cute dresses and then the guys have the matching shirts.
When we have kids, do you want to all wear matching outfits?
If they're as cute as these ones.
Because I don't want to do that.
Okay. When we go to the Caribbean.
Maybe when we go to the Caribbean trademark.
Okay. And then the mom's like, we're going to the Caribbean, to the first place your dad and I met.
And everyone groans because they've heard this story a million
times. And then we get a little montage of them like going on the car and the airplane, and she's telling the story the whole time.
It's literally like driving to the airport, in the plane, driving to the hotel. But I honestly presume she's just telling them 3 separate times.
Yeah, no, it definitely didn't take like hours and hours and hours to tell the story. She just keeps bringing it up.
The generic story is she bumped into the dad, spilled a drink on her, or on him, guava.
Well, they argue about what fruit it was.
Guava or papaya. Yeah. I think they all say it was guava.
I think she was saying it was guava, or he was saying it's guava, and she's like, I don't even like guava. Why would I have that? And then later at the resort, it's a little joke of like, we don't have guava here. It's papaya.
Yeah, but they all thought it was guava.
Well, it's because he messed it up. He doesn't know which drink it is.
Yeah. And then they fell in love at like first sight, and on the trip, he said, I love you. We're going to get married. We're going to have kids. I'm going to be not a wizard anymore. And apparently that all went perfectly well. They kind of hand wave it because they don't want to talk about the fact that apparently after maybe a week of knowing each other, they profess their love.
We don't know the timeline. It's possible they went back to the resort later. But yeah, I wonder. And this obviously is not an adults only resort. So she says they met. It was her summer after college. Mm-hmm. So like, why was she going to this resort?
Vacation.
And why was he at this
Meet some resort? Boys. He was there to relax and meet some girls.
All right. So they make it to the resort. They get greeted by some workers, one of which Alex thinks is cute. His name is Javier.
He is a little character whose entire thing is flirting with the underage girl.
Yeah, he does activities here. And also they get their picture taken, and it's like a thing that the mom always wants their pictures taken all the time. Mm-hmm. All the kids want to do different things, and the mom's like, no, we need to stick together. And then we get like a montage of them doing activities together while Magic Carpet Ride plays, a cover of Magic Carpet Ride, which is You Don't Know What You May Find. Won't you come with me, little girl, on Magic Carpet Ride.
Oh my god, they said magic.
They said magic, so we have to put it in the movie. They go like snorkeling. They like climb that rock climb thing that's in the middle.
Yeah,
of the
they had like a fun little inflatable rock climb thing. I've never seen one exactly like that. It looks cool. It was
I don't think it was inflatable. I think it was actually like plastic.
Oh wow, it looked cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The mom and dad are like in love with each other, and that night when the parents think the kids are in bed, they're actually all under the covers. So Justin's playing with the family wand. So we know he snuck the family wand here. Alex is reading the spell book, and Max is doing just goofy stuff as he does. And then there's more tourist shenanigans and more pictures taken. Cool. So then the mom starts talking more about when her and dad met, and Alex is like, ugh, whatever, I don't care. And the mom's like, you know what? You're right. I haven't really been doing anything you want to do, so I'm going to let you choose the next activity. And Alex is like, did I mention that Javier teaches windsurfing.
She's got a little thing for Javier.
Yeah.
That's like their entire reason for being here.
Justin's like, I want to see all of the wizard stuff.
I like magic.
We can't do it because of you, Alex. Also, he's wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
What the heck? What a nerd. Okay, so then the kids see a magician performing on the street. He also has a parrot, and he kind of sucks. So Max is like, y'all need to just make your own fun. Watch this.
This is why I think Max is the healthiest one. He's just cool. Like, you guys are arguing. Y'all, we're wizards. I know I'm only going to be a wizard for like 4 more years max. Yeah. But I'm going to have fun with it.
What's fun is that in the show, they show the dad, Jerry, his siblings. And it's literally like a mirror of the 3 kids. So Jerry was Justin, and he won his competition. He also had a younger sister who was very artsy, and then he had a youngest brother. He ended up giving the magic to the youngest brother, who's very much like the Max character, who's just like goofy, you know. So it's interesting that like in this kind of if that truly mirrored, it'd be Justin like falling in love with Immortal and then giving his powers to Max. Be like, here, Max, you can have the powers. That'd be wild. Anyway, Max is like, let's make our own fun. And he goes up to the magician. And he's like, sir, I would like to volunteer. And the magician's like, I didn't ask for volunteers, but okay, here, blow up this balloon. And he uses magic to blow up the balloon. And then he like fucks with him. Yeah.
He makes him levitate. Well, actually, he's like, I'm going to put a needle through the balloon. And he just keeps moving the balloon.
Well, he keeps
in his hand.
Like, he basically Ratatouille's him where it kind of controls his limbs where he can't get the needle through the balloon. He keeps moving. And then, he makes him float. And they're like, it's a simple levitation spell. They like reference this a lot in the movie.
People really like the performance. Honestly, it's pretty funny. I think this is kind of...
I mean, yeah, he like floats in the air.
Physical humor for what this movie's tried to do is just the evil villain loser guy floating in the air, suffering from success because he doesn't have control over himself, but the whole audience thinks he does and thinks it's a great show. Yeah, and then like he pops the balloon and falls down, but he's like, haha, yes, I meant to do that. And the crowd applauds him. And then the parents are seeing him levitate and they're like, oh my gosh, it's Max. Which is funny, they know Max, but at the same time, yeah.
They know it's Max. Like only Max would do that.
All of Justin and Alex's pranks are way more selfish.
Yeah. So they come over and take the kids away and the magician wants to follow them, but the Popo comes, which is apparently a thing that he's like not allowed to perform there and the police always stop him, but whatever. The dad is lecturing Max, like, hey, you're not supposed to be using magic, whatever. And Max goes, is it my fault that he's just a great magician? Which I thought was funny. But he's like, it's okay. I promise no one will know that we're wizards. And then cue the magician coming up saying, you're wizards.
Oops.
And he's like, oh, maybe one person.
I feel like you could get a count of all the people who get revealed to
that they're wizards.
It's way more than it should be.
I feel like every time though, it's people that already know about wizards.
Yeah.
So except for Zeke later in the show.
I feel like a third of the people in the universe are actually secretly in the magic world.
Yeah.
And it's just everyone somehow keeps it a secret.
Yeah, because like both of the partners, like Justin's girlfriend and Alex's boyfriend, just end up being magical beings also.
All 4 of them in DCOMs. All different.
Yeah.
Power couples.
We got some Avalon High. We got some Lemonade Mouth going on. Let's go. All right, anyway, they try to deny that they're wizards, but the magician's like, no, it's chill. Like, we're wizards too. Well, not now, but we were wizards. And it's like, we? Oh, yeah, this parrot.
This parrot's a human.
She's a human. She's a wizard, but she was like cursed to be a parrot for 50 years.
Yeah, they don't say that.
No, they never reveal how. And he says multiple times, like, you should tell them how you became a parrot. But then the
parrot always bites because it's going to reveal that she's evil.
Okay.
That's why. They don't tell her that she's been cursed for 50 years. Because then they would be like, why would you be cursed? Did you do something evil? And they'd have to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what the evil thing was. We
never find out what she did to become a bird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He also mentions he was a wizard, but he lost his family competition, which is such an easy way to explain.
Yep.
How you don't have powers anymore. How freaking sad is it? Also, like, only child just gets to be a wizard.
Yeah, I think that's a thing.
Which is crazy also.
How does the population of wizards grow?
Slowly. Well, I think you can give birth to wizards, though, if you lost your family competition.
Oh, you can?
I'm assuming. I mean, their dad doesn't have powers anymore when he had kids.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of the equivalent of losing your competition.
Fair enough.
So, because you still have the genes. I wonder if you could become a wizard without magical parents.
It's a whole question. We're not wizards experts.
We're not. All right. Where was I?
So yeah, they are like, let's go on this crazy trip to go save the parrot into being a bird, and Justin's real into the idea because it's a magical ruin space.
Yeah, he's like trying to get them to hang out, and they're like, no. And he's like, well, I know where the Stone of Dreams is.
Stone of Dreams?
The Stone of Dreams.
The MacGuffin.
But it can do anything. That's crazy. And he's like, yeah, I have a map. And the dad's like, oh, he has a map? Well, so does every gift shop here. People go looking every year, and it's really dangerous, and they end up dead. The magician's like, well, we just want to turn the bird back to a person. And the dad's like, nope, sorry, it's too dangerous, and they leave. Cut to some windsurfing. They're there with Javier, and Alex chose this, and the parents mention like, oh yeah, this windsurfing lesson was expensive, and Javier's probably just trying to flirt with Alex to get more windsurfing lessons paid for. But yeah. Justin's doing like fairly well at it, so Alex uses a spell from the Forbidden Spell book to blow some wind, but Justin uses the family wand so that he doesn't fall off, and he does some sick flips.
Both of these items are okay potentially losing in the ocean.
Alex didn't have the spell.
Yeah, never mind. She didn't have spell. She just saw the knowledge. Never mind. Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, no, Justin brought it with. Yeah. Justin's like, I'm gonna bring it with me. And while he's doing sick flips, Alex is like, oh my gosh, he has the wand on him.
Da-da.
Whoa. And then
no one else realizes. Yeah,
and then Alex storms off, and Justin like gets blown all the way to shore and like collapses into her somehow. Crazy. All right. After all that, Javier is like, hey, Alex, you want to come to a party at the beach later? And Alex is like, I would, but my mom probably wouldn't like me going. But you know what? I'll work it out. I'll find a way. Yeah, I'll find a way.
I'll find a way to go date this 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's being generous. He's probably older than that.
Yeah, he's probably like 26.
Ugh. So she's like, hey mom, can I go to this party? And the mom's like, with him? No, you can't go with him. He's too old for you. We're supposed to be here as a family. And then Alex tries to say a spell to get the mom to do what she wants, and it works for a second. The mom's like, sure, go do what you want. But then she snaps out of it, and she's like, what am I saying? No, you can't go to the party. So Alex is like, I don't have enough juice without the wand. Juice. It's crazy that like they use a wand but also can use the wand
makes it powerful.
Yeah.
The wand makes it powerful. The book is powerful spells.
Which is crazy because all the spells they say, they just like make up a rhyme for.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the magic works here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a wizard's expert.
Yeah. So now they're out eating dinner, and mom's like, it was right here that dad told me that he's a wizard and that he loves me. So they were at the resort when he's like, I'm a wizard and I love you and I want to marry you.
Yeah.
When was this? Was it the same week that they met?
It was the same week, especially because later on in this movie, when they don't know each other, they're already basically admitting that they love each other.
He found a hot piece of ass and was like, I'm ready to give up my wizard powers.
The wizard powers that I fought so hard for and kept for 4 years.
Like, I'm so ready to just give him up for this woman.
And to be fair to him, they're in a happy relationship.
They are, and she's very beautiful.
Yeah. Go get her.
Yeah. And he's like, you want to open up a sandwich shop with me?
We can make sub sandwiches and have the freezer be our magic school.
It's sad you can't be with a mortal if you're a wizard.
Yeah, again, I feel like this is just, why are all the wizard variations kind of like racist species?
I don't know. They asked, like, why would you give up your magic? And the dad's like, she was worth it. And Alex like, well, that's very touching. Justin, come on, let's go over here. And then she takes Justin off to the side and she's like, I know you have the wand.
He's like, I don't have the wand, except I definitely do have the wand.
Yeah, I definitely do. And
she's like, it's okay, I have the book.
Yeah, I have the book. Like, how do you think all that wind happened? And I knew you couldn't do a backflip by yourself. So he's like, oh, okay, you have the book. And she's like, this is the part where I blackmail you now. Give me the wand so I can do a spell, or I'm going to tell our parents that you took it without permission. And he's like, well, why wouldn't I just tell them that you have the book? And she's like, I'm not the good one.
Yeah.
I don't care if I get in
trouble.
Her
reputation is always bad. So him messing up with her is always looking worse on him.
Yeah, it'll definitely be worse for him. And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, I just want to put a spell on mom and dad so that like I can do what I want. And then it'll benefit you too because you can do what you want. You can go to all those wizard sites. And he's like, okay. I'll go distract them while you sneak out, go get the wand and the book and do the spell, whatever. So they go and do that. Alex is in the room. She starts saying a spell, but mom comes in and interrupts it.
Oh no, the mom caught her.
She's like, the second Justin tried to magically glue me to my chair, I knew something was up, so stop it.
And oh my God, is that the wand and the book?
What the heck?
That's not good.
Alex goes, I'm 16. You can't keep telling me what to do. Yes, she can.
Yeah. She's 16. That's not that old.
That's not an adult. It's giving Ariel, but daddy, I love him. I'm 16. Yeah. I'm not a child. The mom says, yes, I can tell you what to do. You're grounded when we get back. No magic, no hanging out with friends, whatever.
Wait, for 2 months. Yikes.
And then Alex goes, I hate you. I wish you and dad had never even met.
And this is where the movie really starts.
Magic. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, so everything else has been just basically set up for the main plot, which is set up because this wish that they never met, which is because they kept talking about how many times.
Yeah, it was actually really good setup because, like, why would she say that specifically instead of, like, I wish you weren't my mom or something, or I wish I wasn't part of this family. She said specifically, I wish you and dad had never met. And that kind of just goes with, like, she won't stop talking about how they met. They met at this resort, and that's the reason they're at this resort in the first place. So it kind of makes sense why she would say, I wish you never met.
Yep. And this is where the movie starts, really, because now the mom and dad have never met because the whole world has changed.
When the world turned upside down.
And suddenly we have a Back to the Future setup of slowly everyone's going to be fading away because the parents didn't meet, so they weren't born.
Yup. It's crazy, though, how the logic works of, like, they're still here, though.
It's because otherwise there wouldn't be a plot.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right. So Alex is like, whoa, what happened, mom? And she leaves and the wand and the book like magically go away.
Yeah, they do go away right away, which is a little dumb, but again, just for the plot.
Mm-hmm. So Alex sees her mom, who no longer recognizes her. She thinks that Alex just works at the resort. She's like, some guy's luggage is in my room.
It's the dad's.
Yeah. Something fishy's going on here. So then Alex leaves to go find Justin and he's like, where's dad? And she's like, I don't know. Oh, did you do the spell? Well, I did a spell.
Alex, this is where she annoys me the most, is she will never take blame when just admitting blame right away and getting good communication is needed.
She has a moment later.
Yes. And it's another thing where Justin won't do the same for just like, he takes a second to gloat all the time. And it's a thing where that would bug me the most if I was a sibling with either of them.
Yeah. So Justin sees their dad and is like, hey, I'm going to skip family stuff and do some like of the wizard ruins, whatever. And dad's like, okay, you do you, man.
Because he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, later, my guy. And Justin's like, what did you do? And then the dad checks out the mom as they walk by, and he's like, why don't they know each other? And the dad looks at Justin and says, dibs on like his mom. I got
dibs on that one.
As if like the 17-year-old is gonna flirt with the 40-year-old woman.
Okay, the 17-year-old could have been like 19, you know. He doesn't know who he is. And maybe he's just looking for a cougar. She is pretty hot.
I know. That's his mom, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that it's his mom.
Yeah.
He's got to lay his claim. Yeah. Even though later on in the movie, he's like, I don't care about her. So, plot hole?
Then they also see their dad do some magic and flirt with another girl. So, Justin's like, what the fuck? What did you do? And Alex goes, see? This is what you get when you let me use the wand. Like, just blaming Justin of like, you shouldn't have given it to me. I fucked up.
Like, this is what bugs me about this is they're not even doing it for a parrot or anything. She's doing it when Justin knows it's her fault and she knows it's her fault. Yeah.
But it's like, nope, you shouldn't have given it to me.
Like, she doesn't need to defend herself right now.
Yeah, I don't know. So then they try to find the wand in the book, but it's missing. And then Max comes into the room and goes, thanks for ditching me at the restaurant, guys, which we both laughed at. Because, like, this whole time, Max has just been sitting at the table with no one coming back. Like, poor Max. We're both the youngest sibling in our family. Mm-hmm. I feel like this would happen to us. Mm-hmm. We're like, what the fuck? Why'd you guys ditch me at the restaurant?
Yeah, it's funny just because you're like, oh yeah, he's also a character in this.
Max is involved too, yeah.
And he doesn't even know anything that was going on. This happened without his agreement.
Yeah, so Alex is like, well, I wish that mom and dad never met, and now it's true. And Max is like, all right, hold on. Is this necessarily a bad thing? And Justin's like, yes, but Alex is like, no, this is a good point. Let's think about it. Let's hear him out. This might not be the worst thing. Let him cook. So then, like, all the siblings bicker or whatever. And then Justin realizes that, oh, their dad probably has the wand in the book since he would be the family wizard since he never met their mom. So then they go and find dad at the bar, and he has the wand in the book in his back pocket. And they're like, we need to get it. But Max is like, y'all, there's no way mom would ever forget who I am. So then he goes up to his mom and she's like, it's me, mom. I'm Max. And she's like, I don't know who you are.
It's like, me, Max, Maximilian, Maxi Poo, Maxi Pad, Maxo. And he just kind of has a crisis because his mom doesn't recognize him.
He starts panicking and hugs her like, Mom, please remember me. And she's like, get off of me, strange
I appreciate boy. This movie actually feels like it has stakes throughout because I feel like often on plots like this, they're too goofy about everything. But this one, they're all taking it pretty seriously.
They are like really quickly taking it seriously. Like they had the little joke about like, is this that bad? But yeah, no, they know that this is bad. While Justin's trying to pull Max off of the mom, Javier comes over to Alex. So I guess he still knows Alex and their conversations. I don't know. The logic is weird. But he runs into Alex and he's like, hey, beach party? And she's like, oh, no, I can't go to the beach party anymore. Something came up. And he goes, oh, no problem. But hey, let me know if you want any more windsurfing lessons. And Alex is like, God damn it, my mom was right. He's just trying to sell me windsurfing lessons and she's not even here to say I told you so. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then they get Max off the mom and they go back to trying to get the spell book and the wand from their dad. So they're like, all right, Max, it's just a simple levitation spell. You can do it. Why are they having Max do the levitation spell?
Apparently he's the only one who can do simple levitation spells, except later the other two both do, but apparently the worst wizard in the family is the one they trust to do this. I don't know. It seems dumb.
They just wanted to give Max more to do, I think, because this movie is just very much about Justin and Alex. But whatever. He starts levitating the book and the wand from the pocket, but then the dad realizes it and he like magics them close to him, like kind of pulls them in from like yards away, which I thought was a really cool effect. And he goes, no one touches the book. in like a really deep, scary voice.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a supervillain. And then he just goes, I'm joking.
I'm joking.
It was just a bit.
What do we got here? A couple young wizards wanting to prank me? Sick. I love pranks.
Oh my god, I'm so silly, goofy, funny.
It's crazy that he's like this to me because, again, they have the whole episode about like his family and his siblings. And I always kind of thought that he was the more responsible one. Like, he's supposed to be the Justin. And he knows like a ton about the wizard stuff. He's their teacher. And he was good at this. He won his family competition. So, like, why is he all like, yeah, pranks and flirty with women?
I don't know. He's drunk, but not actually.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, uses his magic to make nachos bigger. And they're like, whoa, you're using magic for fun? This is crazy.
Also, I just feel like you can make infinite food. That's crazy.
Yeah. And Alex is like, this might be random, but you don't happen to have a titanium wand on you, do you? And he's like, I so do. I'm my family's wizard. And then he like shows an orb, a big old orb of his power. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is my power. I'm the family wizard.
I'm so cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't bring this up earlier, but I want to talk about it now. This is another thing that differs from the show. I don't think they ever talk about a family wand in a forbidden spellbook ever again. I don't think
they do ever again.
Like, that's a weird thing to add to the movie, to me.
Yeah. But they do small things in the show that never come back to.
Yeah.
But it matters more in the movie because the movie's a bigger deal.
They just wanted to add little MacGuffin things of like, oh, Alex and Justin are using more powerful things, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I'm the family wizard. Magic is awesome. Here, let's see what I can do. And he like makes little marimba music play with magic, and he dances.
He's just being very obvious with his magic. There's no like mist in this world, right? Anything that's being shown can be seen, right?
I think so.
So anyone could be like, wow, there's floating marimba sticks playing the music. That's cool. And he just gets up and dances.
Yeah, no, it's weird that this happens. Justin's like, hey, theoretically, I have a question for you. If a stupid, very irresponsible, stupid ass fucking wizard, like he's assaulting Alex. Stupid ass wizard wishes her parents never met, like, how would you fix it? And the dad's like, I don't know, but they should probably do something fast. And if they had kids, oh wait, hold on, this is my favorite song. And he has to dance.
It's literally just more marimba music.
Yeah, it's like the same marimba music, but he has to dance in between. And they're like, oh my gosh, get to the point. He's like, yeah, if they had kids, reality would catch up to the kids and they would disappear. Probably in like 48 hours.
I don't get how he doesn't become suspicious for so long that they're talking about him being the
especially dad. With Max hanging around him all the time.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of dumb. I'm just going to bring it up here. They're more or less, he says like, oh, they're probably going to forget in 48 hours. So I'm like, yikes, that's not good. And he's like, oh, you're going to forget stuff. And everyone's like, I don't remember my birthday. What did I get for my birthday? It's so funny the way he's like, oh yeah. And they would start forgetting things. And Alex and Justin are immediately like, what happened on my birthday? I don't remember. That he's their dad. And even if he doesn't believe him, at least you had that as an option in your back pocket.
They should just straight up ask him for help, especially with the solution they come up with later.
Yeah.
Like, they should have just done this, but instead they're like, no, we're going to go get the Stone of Dreams. Because the dad's like, you need a miracle. And Justin's like, oh, like the Stone of Dreams. And the dad's like, oh my gosh, yeah, Stone of Dreams, that would totally work. But
it would be hard to find.
It'd be hard to find. It'd be fun. And they're like, whoa, he doesn't care about how dangerous it is now. It's crazy. All right. So now next morning they had to like sleep outside because they don't have rooms anymore. Alex is like, so what's the plan, Justin? He's like, what makes you think I have a plan? And then he's like, just kidding. I totally have a plan because I'm Justin. He says he and Alex will go find the Stone of Dreams while Max does like quality control of the parents. He keeps
the parents trying to get them back together.
And also like making sure they don't go off and fall in love with other people.
Because that probably would be bad.
Yeah, just like
it actually probably wouldn't be, but it probably would be. I don't know why it would impact their lives now.
You're right, especially if they go just ask the stone to
undo everything. But maybe it could be bad. They don't know how the spell's really working. Realistically, they should be disappeared by now.
No, it takes 48 hours.
For a reason.
Because wizard magic. So then they go back to Mr. Magician Man. What's his name?
Archie.
I never knew his name during the movie. Archie. They're like, hey, Archie, we do want to find the Stone of Dreams. And he's like, sick. Here is a map. This is the only map. And then their dad walks by and he's like, oh, hey, guys, I also picked up a map at the gift shop. You guys totally inspired me. And they're like, this is the only map, huh? And he's like, well, the problem is with the map that everybody has is that they don't know where to start.
And he puts out a second map on top of the first map.
He's like, they're missing a piece.
To show where to start.
So he's like, all right, this is
know
where
that
we go.
No one has ever knows where to start on this. So anyone who doesn't have all this information shouldn't be able to figure out where it goes, right?
Yeah.
Too bad they do later.
No, it's because Max shows them because he did see that part of the map. They must have shown him just off camera. So he does say like, oh, they had another piece of the map though. So it's not like they just randomly went and found it. Okay, so then they go to the place where it starts, and it says the path will only reveal itself to those whose intentions are pure. And Justin's like, so me, cool. So then Justin removes this like dragon head statue thing, and nothing happens. So he's like,
says some words and like nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
He hands it to Alex to like study the situation, and then it opens for Alex.
Yeah, and
what?
She's like,
Alex's intentions are pure.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I did it. This was easy. Haha. And then they go on the path, and Justin's like, what the heck? So then they head into the jungle. As they're making their way through the jungle, they talk about the Stone of Dreams. We learned it gives one wish per wizard. And we almost learned how Giselle turned into a bird. That's the bird lady. But she's like, no, don't say anything. Yeah, she's a parrot. And then they come across the double waterfall, so they're going the right way.
Yeah,
and
there's so many different little key figures on this map, where to turn and what do whatnot.
So like you should know where to start then.
I also just feel like you could go straight there. I'm gonna be.
You could just go to the mountain that it says to go to.
Yeah.
People do try. Apparently they just die.
Yeah.
But whatever. I feel like it's actually not that hard to get.
They don't do a good enough job making it feel that difficult.
Yeah.
Because again, they're able to get through it very quickly later on.
Yeah. Alex and Justin bicker. They bicker a lot throughout the movie. I don't really take many notes on what they're bickering about. Just imagine like Alex is like, you're lame, and Justin's like, you're irresponsible, or something like that. And then the magician, Archie, is talking to his bird girlfriend and loses them, but he like catches up later, like whatever. They kind of do this thing where they make him fall behind a lot so that Alex and Justin can have scenes by themselves.
Yeah.
For like character development. It's just kind of weird that
it's weird that he
Archie
always catches up.
Yeah, Archie's like here, but then he's not, and then he catches up. Like it's kind of weird. Like, why is he here at all?
I don't know.
But we need like some kind of villain thing happening, so yeah, whatever. So Alex and Justin are on their own right now. They're bickering. Justin's trying to do things in a particular way. He's like controlling the map, and Alex is like, you're being too much. And then Justin ends up in quicksand and he starts sinking, and Alex like teases him like, oh, I'm not gonna help you, but then she's like, okay, I'll help you.
This is a goop moment, by the way. Quicksand is a clear goop.
He's like, it's really muddy.
Yeah.
She's like, I will help you if you promise I can be in charge of the map. And he's like, okay.
He resists a lot, but he eventually gives in to get
and then
help.
she like pulls him out.
Which is just pull him out. Come on.
Obviously she would have eventually. Yeah. But yeah, this is another example of that like John Mulaney. Like, I thought quicksand was going to be a way bigger problem than it actually was. This is an example of kids media where it's like, watch out for that quicksand.
Oh, that quicksand.
Oh man.
Kids media really makes you think quicksand is around every corner.
Yeah.
This is not the first DCOM we've talked about with quicksand.
What's another one?
Wasn't it in Starstruck?
That wasn't quicksand. That was just mud.
It was effectively quicksand.
It was. Okay. The car sunk into a giant mud puddle. That was insane, and the physics made no sense.
Yeah.
For that, maybe it was a giant puddle of quicksand in the middle of California.
Can you buy quicksand?
No.
Can you go and move quicksand from one place to another place? Would that work? I don't know how good the physical quicksand is.
It might not be very quick.
Can you make a golf course but have one of the bunkers be quicksand and it
you watch your
killing
ball.
people?
You watch your ball. I guess
the ball would probably stay on. It's not that
and
heavy.
Then you go in and hit it, and then they just slowly sink in and die.
If I was a billionaire evil scientist, that would be a fun little prank.
Would it be a fun little prank, Benji?
People are just why do people keep dying on this golf course?
Where did they go? I thought I saw him over there, and then he was getting shorter, and then he disappeared.
And he was yelling, "Help, I'm in quicksand."
So if anything could happen, he could be anywhere. So she helps him out, and then Archie comes back and catches up.
Yeah, basically, anytime they finish a scene of the two of them, it's Archie shows up.
Yep. All right, so then the dad is flirting with bartender, and Max shows up, and he's like, hey, why don't you bring this smoothie over to that woman over there? That woman being his mother. And the dad's like, nah. And then Max is like, I don't know, that bartender though, she's kind of a dog. And the dad's like, what? And then you turn and she's actually a golden retriever now. He
turned into a golden retriever, which is the dad's like, oh my God, I did that to my teacher. You got that from me. Because he mentioned that in his story about being a cool and wild guy.
Yeah. Which is crazy that this assumably 14-year-old is that bartender's a dog. Go flirt with this other woman. And the dad, Jerry, is who the fuck is this kid? Why is he trying to wingman me? Anyway, he is gonna bring over the smoothie, but then he runs into Teresa instead and spills it all over her. And they start arguing about it. And then Max is like, wait, no, this is wrong. It was the other way around. So then he magics the mom to throw the drink at the dad. Yeah.
This is another goop moment. Not the drink, but the guava drink.
The smoothie.
It
was papaya.
Yeah, the papaya smoothie, even though it's very red.
Isn't papaya red?
Papaya's red. I was thinking durian for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that's
durian's
not red.
But...
yeah.
Papaya's red. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the dad goes, you know what? Let's just call it even. And she's like, oh, okay. And they're a little flirty, oh. And then she leaves. And Max is like, that's it. Go after her. And the dad's like, cute and feisty, dangerous combo. I could really fall for that woman. And,
I could really fall for my wife and mother to my kids.
Well, in another life.
Yeah.
But he's like, I would maybe be into her if she was a wizard, but I'm never giving up my powers.
I would never do that.
That'd be crazy. All right, so then back to Justin and Alex are going through the jungle. Alex is like, wow, I actually miss my mom yelling at me. Magician talks to Giselle, and this is when we learn that she was sentenced to 50 years in feathers.
Such a dramatic way to say you got turned into a bird.
Yeah. And
sentenced to 50 years in feathers.
And they're conspiring to take the stone.
The bird just goes squawk, squawk, squawk. And Archie goes, oh, that would be devious to go take the stone and take it for only ourselves.
He's like, maybe we should just tell them that you want to turn back into a human and they'll let us use the stone. Which honestly...
They would.
They would, because everybody gets one wish anyway. So once you've used the stone... But you don't really need it.
They think it's too risky. I think it's because they're worried if they got questioned by authorities in the magic police world, they would turn them in.
I don't know.
That's my take on it. They would rather have them just disappear.
It's interesting. Or they want to take it and maybe they can sell it for a lot of money. I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, back to Justin and Alex. They're at a big cliff now. And it says you need to build a path of stone with magic. Justin makes a bridge out of rocks, and it looks really good. And he's like, "That's right, I did it. I did it all
without even a magic wand of cool."
Yeah, and Archie's like, "Wow, that's a really good bridge." He's like, "I know." And they're about to go across, but then Alex stops them, grabs a little pebble, and throws it on the bridge, and the whole thing collapses. So he's like, oh. So then cut to them like using a levitating spell and some rocks to get across, and Alex came up with it. She's like, pretty smart, right? And Justin is frustrated that Alex is just so naturally good at this stuff. So
this is, in my opinion, the best scene in the movie.
Oh, I think the campfire.
I agree, the campfire, which it comes up like right after it, more or less. But to me, I prefer this scene where they're just levitating the rocks around each other, and they have these stumbles in their conversation because they're focused on their magic. But it's just Justin saying, "Oh, I'm like really jealous of how naturally this all comes to you," and they're like, he's worried that his parents don't love him as much as they could because he's not naturally as good as Alex is. And Alex is like, "You're always just too good for me," you know?
Yeah, so he says, "I work so hard and you just do everything without trying. You know, that's why I work so hard, is because you're so naturally good that I have to work like twice as hard to be as good as you." Yeah. And by the way, Archie is like hanging back. He's not going on the rocks with them. I don't know why he's not going on the rocks with them, but they're like, "We'll go first." Anyway, he's like, "Do you even want to be the family wizard, Alex?" And she's like, "I think so. I don't know." And Justin says, "I want it more than anything. Like, I don't know who I am if I'm not a wizard." And Alex admits that she feels like she's always in his shadow. And he says he feels like he needs to be perfect all the time. And that, like, yeah, his parents would love him maybe as much. His student says that's not true. Yeah, it's a very interesting scene of them like opening up about their insecurities. And they make it across and they both say like, "Good job. You did good." And then Archie's like, "All right, cool. You want to just send over the rocks for me now?" And then they fall and they're like, "There's not enough time. Sorry." And they just leave him behind. Yep. They don't care about him, which, like, yeah, fair enough. I don't know.
So they decide, well, the best course of action is for me to climb all the way down this like 40-story cliff and then climb back up it.
Yeah, literally the parrot's like, "Climb down, bitch." And I guess he just does. Yep. And there's like a river in between that he has to cross.
We don't get to see how it happens. It is really unbelievable.
Do not believe he just climbs down a cliff safely and then climbs up a cliff safely.
It doesn't happen.
Back to Max. He finds his dad again. The dad's being a hooligan. And he's like, "Hey, don't go to dinner tonight. I'm going to turn the pasta into worms."
Man, what a funny prank. It's really not.
Max is like, "Cut it out. Also, I'm starting to forget things. Like, did I have a birthday? I don't know." And then he finds the mom and she's like, "Why do you keep talking to me, strange boy? Your friend isn't interested in me." And he's like, No, he is interested in you. You're his type. And she's like, "Well, I have other plans anyway. I don't want to flirt with your friend." And then
she's flirting with one of the staff members.
Yeah, who has a boat. And then Max sinks the boat that she was going to go on, so that she doesn't have plans anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. That night, this is the big campfire scene that is like kind of the emotional climax. Yeah. Really deep into their relationship as brother and sister. So they're at a campfire. Alex says, "What if we don't get the stone?" And Justin says, "We will, because it's you and I. How can we not?"
Yeah, we have to be able.
We have to be able to. And then Justin says, "I think this is the longest we've gone without you making fun of me." And then they like have a little chuckle about it, like, "Oh, I will make fun of you." I don't know. And then Justin says, like, "I wonder why you could open the gate and I couldn't."
She's like, "I just was thinking about how much I wanted to save the family."
Yeah, and he says, "I was thinking about that too, and how great it would be if I was the one to do it." So there's your answer. I didn't have pure intentions. I kind of wanted the glory of it all. And Alex says, "You're a great wizard, Justin." And
he's like, "I just know a bunch of spells."
Yeah, I just know a bunch of spells. That's all. And she says, no, that's not it. You're always there for me. And he says, "That doesn't make me a great wizard. That just makes me a good brother." Aw. And Alex says, "Thank you." And he says, "You're welcome."
Yeah. It's this is the movie actually gets their emotional core at a good level.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting because like they are competing against each other inherently. They're competing against each other in this family wizard tournament, but at the same time, that's his younger sister, you know? And that's her brother. Like they have this relationship and it's complicated. And this wizard world is stupid that it pins these siblings against each other. All right, so next morning, Archie shows up at their camp. He's like, I did it. I made it. And they stick him to a tree because they don't know it's him at first. They're like, oh, sorry. Oh, look, there's the mountains we need to go to. And Alex is like, oh my gosh, it's so far away. But she has the map upside down again, like at the beginning of the movie. They do this
so many times.
And then she's like, oh my gosh, it's so close. So yeah. Back to Max and the dad. Max is like, I need your help. Like, I'm starting to forget stuff. Like, what I got for Christmas or something. I don't know. And my siblings still haven't come back. They went to go find the Stone of Dreams. And the dad's like, they actually went? But that's so dangerous. I didn't think they were actually going to go for it. And Max is like, please help me. You're the only one that can help. And the dad
should just reveal, you're my dad.
I know, but what? Well, he's also starting to forget things. So dad's like, okay, I'll help you. So they start looking over the map, and the mom comes over and she's like, oh my gosh, is that a treasure map? That's awesome. And Max says, yeah, it's a treasure map, but like we're missing the first part. My siblings had another part of where to start, and it had some like gargoyle looking thing on it. And the mom goes, oh my gosh, I know where that is. I went on a tour and saw that yesterday. Let's go together and do the treasure map.
Yeah. The dads keep saying like, I don't want to do this.
I don't know. I don't think you should come with. And she's like, I'm only telling you if I get to come with. And they're like flirty. And Max is like, yes, of course, come with. So they're going to go off for the Stone of Dreams also.
Yeah, that's your B plot. It just keeps happening.
They get to their...
roughly the same time.
No, so much quicker.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they get to the final moment roughly the same time as our main cast.
Yeah.
It's very dumb.
How do they get there? And maybe it's because the dad is a full wizard, so he can like speed up the process.
But also, it's just dumb because it's just a whole process. They don't even have as good of a map to try and find everything. And they just go through all these obstacles that we saw the main cast take a good amount of time for so that they can be there at the same time. It's, in my opinion, the biggest plot hole of the whole movie.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Alex and Justin. They now need to find a cave. And the map says the one that knows the least shall lead the way. And they're like, Alex. And Alex is like, yeah, I was going to say me too. I obviously know the least. But she doesn't know. And then so Archie and Justin start theorizing where it could be. And Alex is like, why don't we just ask someone? Mm-hmm. And they just kind of look at her like, no. And they go back to theorizing. And Alex is like, fine, I'll go ask for someone. She goes over to the locals and they don't speak English, and she like struggles to communicate with them. But then she does a spell which gives them like captions, like floating, like magic.
Floating closed captioning.
Yeah.
Brought to you by PBS.
And they're like basically just insulting her. Like, she looks crazy and looks like she sleeps on the ground.
Her breath stinks.
Maybe if we just smile and nod, she'll go away. And she's like, okay, yep, I'm gonna go. But then a little girl goes up to her, and Alex realizes that she knows the least because she's a child. So she's going to know where the cave is.
I'd like to point out, these are just locals living in this area that was like magically protected and had to get through that floating canyon.
It wasn't a floating canyon. It was just a canyon. Big canyon.
And all these obstacles. Who are these people?
Locals.
I don't believe anyone should be living in this island.
They have goats.
They do have goats. That's why they had goats in Max's scene earlier, because they already had the goats on set.
Yes, so. Anyway, Mom, Dad, and Max show up to the entrance where the pure intentions person has to do the thing, and the mom and dad flirt, and Max keeps forgetting stuff. And then they're like, we need to distract her so that magic can happen. So Max says, hey, lady, look over there. And then he goes and picks up the head, and it opens because Max says pure intentions. Aww. So then they go, wow, a path just showed up. That's crazy. Let's go. Back to Justin and Alex and Archie. They find the cave. They realize that magic doesn't work inside the cage. They're like, you guys can just stay back. They're talking to Archie and Giselle, the parrot. Like, you can stay back if you want. And at first Archie's like, no, we'll go with. But then Giselle like bites him. Like, no, we're going to hang back. Because she has an evil plan. Mm-hmm. So he's like, we'll hang back. And Justin and Alex go ahead. Cut to a 2-second scene of the dad like struggling in the quicksand, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, it's funny because they get stuck in the same spot, but also it's another gooping.
Goop.
This movie has a lot of goop jokes.
And they're like, all right, pull on 3. And he's yelling, why do you need to count to 3? Just pull.
It's a good point, but they keep fucking it up. So maybe they do need to work.
Anyway, back to the cave. They're like, do we even know this is the right cave? And then a bunch of torches magically light up. Like,
probably.
This is probably the right cage. And then there's freaking bats. I love Halloween.
You love making that reference.
It's a good vine. Freaking bats. I love Halloween. As they're walking through the cave, Alex just out of nowhere says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. This is all my fault. And he had to repeat. She goes, I'm sorry. And he goes, huh? She goes, I'm sorry for everything. It's all my fault. And he goes, I heard you the first time. I just wanted to hear you say it again. So Alex actually admitted that this was all her doing.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It is. Yeah,
it's
but she's having character
way more
growth.
Her fault.
She's having character growth where she's like admitting things, you know?
Yeah.
And then Justin says, I'm sorry too. You're my little sister. I shouldn't be on you as much. We need each other. And she goes, what was that? And he goes, yeah, no, I'm not saying it again. So
it's a really cute scene.
Their relationship has developed. All right. So now Max and his parents get to the like cliff where you need to make a path of stone, which the dad could just do because he's a full wizard.
Yep.
And Teresa's like, how did that where did that come from? That's crazy. Like, I don't know. It was a bridge just appeared.
She really is just going with the flow on all of this.
And Max is like, what'd I get for Christmas? And then the mom's like, I'm not turning back now, because the dad's like, you can turn back if you want. She's like, no way, let's go. And then she like struts.
Yeah, she struts like she means it.
Yeah.
She frees her mind, and the dad's like, damn, that ass though.
Yeah, damn.
Dibs.
Dibs. For immortal women, she's pretty hot. All right. So then Justin and Alex see the stone. It's like on a pedestal,
lit up beautifully,
and there's a big, really deep
it's really
drop.
Not that pretty of a rock, honestly.
It's really big and like bulky.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they like wear it as a necklace, because it's really not a good necklace, but whatever. It's across this like really, really big deep, and you have to go across like thin rock to get to it. Mm-hmm. It's very dramatic. Alex says someone should put up a railing or something. Like, this is dangerous. And remember, they can't use magic. So Justin's like, all right, I'll go. And he makes his way across the crumbly rocks, and some of them fall. And she says, don't step on the crumbly parts. And he says, they're all crumbly parts.
There's this whole dramatic sequence that's a worse episode of Legends of the Hidden Temple.
And then some rocks fall, and the stone gets like launched across.
But it lands, luckily, instead of the bottomless pit, it lands on a pillar below, luckily.
Yeah, so then Alex has to like climb down a bit to reach it, and she does it. And but oh no, she's about to fall.
But then Justin saves her. He somehow got back.
Yeah, he was just
doesn't make sense.
It does. It's fine, because as she was climbing down, he was probably just making his way back.
Yeah, but he took so long to get there.
Well, now he's like rushing to go help her.
I don't know.
Whatever. She gets the stone. Oh my gosh, they have it. But no, the parrot woman flies in and takes it. She could have just flown ahead in the first. I guess she didn't know what to expect, though. She's like, you guys go first.
Maybe she couldn't have grabbed it until a wizard touched it, and that was just unspoken.
But she is a wizard.
I don't know.
Whatever. Just as she flies away, Max and the two parrots show up at the entry of the cave. Yeah, it's insane that they showed up at this moment when Justin and Alex just got the stone. And it took them like a full 24 hours to get here, and it took them probably like 3 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And it's to me the biggest it's a plot hole. It's not good. Ugh. It doesn't, you can't argue it.
Yeah. But since they showed up, Alex and Justin think like, oh my gosh, it worked. They're here. And they hug the parents, and Alex is like, I'm so sorry, Mom. And Justin hugs the dad, but she's like, you don't know who I am, do you? And the mom's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't. Because Alex thinks like, Max, how did you break the spell? And he's like, I didn't.
Also, who am I?
Who am I? And Dad is like, wait, that spell you were talking about, who are you guys? And Justin goes, hey, Dad.
It's me, your boy.
Your boy. So now they're like convincing them like, we are your kids. Alex wished that you never met. So now we're in a pickle. And the mom is not buying it. She's like, I would never forget my kids.
That would never happen.
They're saying we're married. We're not married.
And the dad's like, well, I kind of am in love with you. I know I've only known you for like 3 hours.
Yeah, he's like, there's no way I would have ever fallen in love with a mortal, but now...
Tell me you're not falling for me.
He looks at her and goes, tell me you're not falling for me. And the mom says, I can't tell you that.
So I think when they said I love you the first time, it was 2 days in.
It was 2 days in. They're like immediately in love with each other, which good for them. Their marriage is pretty healthy. So Max is like, whatever, we have to do something. How did this all happen? And Alex is like, well, I did it. I used the family wand. And he goes, this wand? Yeah. Well, and they're like, Dad, isn't there something you can do? And he's like, oh, let me look. He looks in the book and he goes, no. It's so funny, like the beat of him then be like, there's something you can do. And he flip. No. No, there's nothing I can do. But wait, it says right here in the book that you can reverse the spell. I can't believe there's a page in the book for this.
Again, it's a magic book. Maybe you can just like Control F on the book.
Control F. It says right here you can reverse the spell, but you have to be a full wizard.
Why? You didn't have to be a full wizard to do it. I guess undoing may take more work.
Yeah, I think undoing takes more work.
No.
And then they're like, oh no, I'm not a full wizard. That's years away. The competition's years away. We only have 5 minutes. And Justin says, it doesn't have to be years away. We can do this right now. I just want to bring up, this is so unclear. I thought their wizard competition would be like when they're all adults, but then the show ends.
This movie does contradict the show in a lot of ways about the final wizard competition.
Yeah.
One of the ways, of many ways, like that's where it most differs. It's basically non-canon for that. One of them is like the wizards have to say you're ready to do it. And this one is just like you can do it at any time.
Whatever you want. In the show, they're like, you have to have so many points or something to do it. Because at one point, Alex like loses all of her points that make her like a level 4 wizard or something. Like there's levels, I guess.
It's all this stuff that literally never got talked about.
They just like kept changing stuff in the show for like plot reasons. I think
did it to have more plot.
Yeah, and it's just annoying. In the movie, they're like, we can just do it right now. Okay.
It's because everyone wants to see the competition so bad, and that's like a huge selling point.
It made for a good movie plot, so they're like, hell yeah, let's do it right now. The mom is like, sorry, you have the wrong woman. This can't be me. I wouldn't forget my kid. And she heads back to the car. And then they're like, all right, we have to do the wizard competition. But Max completely forgot everything. He's like, who is that? Who are you? And then he gets sucked into a tornado. A tornado just shows up and sucks him in. Instead
of doing something like, what happened to the book and wand, where you kind of get digitized away, you get Thanos snapped.
Yeah, he should have gotten Thanos snapped.
Would have made way more sense. Instead, a tornado from nowhere comes and sucks him, no one else up, because he lost all of his memories.
Yeah.
You could have also just faded into, like, invisibility, like Back to the Future. There's so many better ways to do this than a tornado whisks you away. That's so dumb. But he doesn't get to be a part of the final competition.
I know, which is so lame.
It's unfair, too. They wanted this to be...
They just wanted to be between Justin and Alex.
Yeah.
But why couldn't Max also be in the competition? Just because, like, what would they do with him? He's just comic relief.
Yeah, but at the same time, it makes, like, the end decision... They don't even talk about, like, it's just, spoiler alert, Alex, you can stay a full wizard if you keep your power. You just undo... like the forgetting the parents never meeting. She's like, well, no, we got to do it again. Like the whole thing again. They should just mention it was unfair to Max, the fact that he didn't get to participate.
It would have been unfair to Max, yeah.
Like, obviously he's not going to win, but also he has a chance to try.
Yeah.
I really think the show may have been peak if they had, in the actual show, Alex wins.
Yeah.
In the movie, Alex wins.
Yeah.
But like both of them, there's at least an argument that they could have a Justin win happen.
Yeah.
I feel like the show would have been best if they had Max win. People would have been pissed, but it would have been great.
No, they needed Alex to win, I think. Yeah. But then in the show, let's just talk about it now. Alex wins, and then they're like, but Justin,
you get to be a full wizard too. And Max, no, you get a sub shop.
He gets the sub shop, and he's like, hell yeah. But like, they can just decide that Justin gets to be a wizard too.
They never once like inferred this to be a possibility.
They're like, you are so good at magic that we're gonna make you a professor.
Maybe there's like a character at one point who said, I lost my family competition, but they said I could be a professor anyways. And it was foreshadowing that, but I don't think so.
No. They're just like, cop out.
Cop out, you're both wizards.
We don't want to deal with the consequences that we wrote into the pilot of the show.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, let's get back to the movie. Max got sucked into a tornado, and the mom yells out, Max, I do remember you. Which, how does that happen?
I think she just felt the emotional connection that they had over the past few hours, and that subliminally got her to think that she was his son. I don't think she actually remembered, but it's just she felt the mother's instinct.
Yeah. All right, so then the dad's like, we're running out of time. Grab the wand. Wizard challenge. Commence. I don't know. He says a spell. It takes him to the wizard challenge. So then they get transported to this really cool arena that's like kind of like ancient, kind of ruins.
The color grading is off on this, and it's something that I've noticed every time I've seen this movie.
I think it's cool.
It looks cool, but especially in the beginning when they're like setting the scene with the purple sky and everything, the colors do not match what like your eyes are trying to see. And it's weird. It's like,
but it's cool. They're in these like purple kind of tracksuit kind of outfits.
It's like they're gonna play a sport.
Yeah, except magical.
But in like a coliseum.
Yeah. I like all the purple rocks come up from the ground. It's very dramatic. And the dad shows up and he's like, all right, this is the competition. And Justin's like, what about wands? And then all of a sudden they just both get a wand. And he says, the rules are simple. Whoever captures the power wins it all. And he like makes the magic orb of power show up again, and it shoots out into the middle of the arena. And
also it doesn't work if you don't try.
Yes, you have to give it your all. You can't just throw.
Which they need to put that in there, otherwise it would just have turned into a
why don't you just let one of them have it to speed it up?
Yeah.
Like, no, you both have to try. And Justin says, don't worry, we'll try our hardest. And then he looks at Alex and he says, I'm sorry. Which is interesting to me because Alex doesn't say anything in return. Yeah. Like, what is he saying I'm sorry for? Oh, like, I'm sorry I'm going to win?
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to go and attack you.
I'm going to do everything I can to win.
Yeah.
It's an interesting moment, I think.
Yeah.
Also in the rules...
They got decent tension.
Yeah. Also in the rules, you can only use spells from the 4 elements. That's earth,
Justin
water,
gets
air,
mad about
fire.
this. He's like, all these spells that I've learned are useless.
Yeah, I've been studying battle spells for years, and apparently you can only use nature spells. What the heck? So it's very Avatar Last Airbender of them. On your mark, get set, magic!
That's so stupid.
That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
It's wizard competition time, baby. Justin immediately makes a big firewall, and Alex goes, Justin! Like, she says this so many times. She goes, Justin!
How dare you?
Why would you do, like, you're playing a competition, and it literally says in the rules you have to try. So stop going, Justin! Oh my gosh!
Don't worry, the magic orb is going to be on your side anyways.
Yeah. So then Alex does a spell that makes a pile of mud fall in front of him.
Yeah, it's just a small little pile of mud and he trips and falls in it.
Yeah. Goop. And then she puts out the fire with some water, and then she like makes the water kind of spin around her and like carry her towards the orb.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but I feel like it would have been faster just to run.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Justin just kind of watches this for a surprisingly long, trying to find his wand. And after a very long time, he goes, oh, there's my wand. It's not even in the mud.
It was in the mud. He was like scrambling for it. He grabs his wand and then shoots the water with some fire and she falls. Okay, now cut back to the resort. The mom is there and she's like distraught. And then she sees a woman pull up in a very fancy red car and she's wearing the big ass stone. It's like the size of a baseball and it's on her neck.
She's like, this is so pretty and I'm human.
It's pretty, as if like people aren't going to try and steal that thing. That's the freaking Stone of Dreams.
Well, only wizards know about it, and that's only like a quarter of the population.
That's a lot of people. Anyway, the mom's like, what? All right, back to the competition. Alex is in like a thunderstorm that Justin put her in or something. And Justin's about to get the orb, but then she uses the blowy spell that she did earlier and she blows it away. And then she makes him fall in the mud again. He falls in mud again. And then she runs to the orb and she's about to touch it. But then the magic goes away and she looks at the dad and he's like...
So the magic...
It does what it wants. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. So then they both start running. Justin gets back up and then she does the mud again.
So she's done it 3 times, which is a good joke. It's honestly something I always remember about this film.
It's a good joke because Justin's like, really, Alex? And she's like, sorry, I don't know many spells.
Yeah. And it keeps falling for it. So maybe just get some...
What are you supposed to do? Like, you're just running.
Get some fire shoes to like melt the mud. I don't know. There's gotta be something.
It's a funny joke.
That is the 6th goop of this movie. I believe, goop. As far as we've watched so far, that is the most goops in a movie.
Wow, well...
It was 2 quicksands, 3 mud piles, and 1 smoothie.
Yeah, well, David Henry's gonna come back for a lot more goops. So stay tuned.
We're not talking about Dad Napped.
Yeah. Okay. Back at the resort, Giselle, who's now a human, she's no longer a parrot, she dumps Archie.
What?
She says, Archie, I actually just was using you to get the stone.
I'm way hotter than you.
I'm way hotter than you. I just wanted the Stone of Dreams. And now we're done. And he goes, can I at least have a goodbye hug? And she's like, okay, and hugs him.
She shouldn't have done this. And yeah, they hug. And when they come out of the hug, she's not wearing the necklace, but no one notices.
But you don't realize because the mom just shows up and starts yelling at her.
Yeah, and I would like to point out, while the mom starts yelling at her, the first thing Giselle does is touch her chest, touch her neck.
And she doesn't realize
she doesn't realize. It feels like an error because she should have immediately realized the necklace ain't there.
Well, the woman's yelling at her, so whatever. She shows up, she's like, you were that bird.
Imagine she was wrong.
Which actually, you were like, how would she know that? I bet the kids told them of like, oh yeah, we had the stone, but then the bird lady
there was time to talk.
Yeah. So you were the bird. And she's like, no, I wasn't a bird. But then she coughs up a feather.
It's like, well,
you were a bird. And the mom goes, I need that stone. I don't know what's going on, but I just had my heart ripped out by a boy I didn't even know I knew. And now there's a guy who I may or may not be married to, but not that I would even mind if I were married to him. And also these other kids. And I need that stone.
Gimme.
And then Giselle like magics her against the wall, like angry magic.
Giselle's the real evil one.
Yeah, and she goes, listen, lady, I just got my life back. Why don't you just see this as a fresh start, okay? Most moms would like that their kids weren't alive anymore.
I don't think she says it like that.
She says, like, most moms want their kids to have never existed. And Teresa says, there's not one. Give me the stone. And then Archie goes, this stone? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I did sleight of hand because I'm a real magician. Pick a card.
And then he holds the stone and Giselle turns back into a parrot. He used his one wish to turn her back into a parrot.
Pretty lame use when I feel like he could have comboed that with something that's useful for him.
Can you combo your wish? I wish my girlfriend was a parrot and I had $1 million.
I hope so. Can you wish for 2 wishes? They don't make these rules clear.
I wish I had more Stone of Dreams.
I wish I had another wish on the Stone of Dreams. Now I have one total wish.
Now I have one wish. And you just keep doing that.
You just feel the power.
You can't wish for 2 wishes, but you can wish for 1 wish.
They let you think about it.
Okay. So he says, I liked you better as a bird.
Also, he's not a full wizard.
No, but he was a wizard, so I guess the Stone of Dreams
works
counts
even if you're not, like, have any powers.
Yeah.
Sure.
But, like, he used to have powers. I wonder. Oh, wait. I was about to say I wonder, but there's literally an answer to this. I was going to say I wonder if you could still be with, like, a magical person if you lose your family competition, but that's not true because that was the whole plot, that Alex wouldn't be able to be with Mason anymore because he's a werewolf, and if she loses, then she would just be immortal. So are they immortal? Do they live forever?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a stupid thing. What happens if you have a kid after your family magic competition?
What do you mean?
What if after the finale,
like mom gets
Jerry
pregnant
and Teresa
at 50?
just goes, let's have another?
I don't know. That's a good question. Or like, what if there's a huge age gap? What if you have a 13-year-old and then you get pregnant and you're like, well, shit. They're going to have the family wizard competition. When does that happen?
When they're like 30?
Like one kid's just significantly older than the other.
I think, again, this world is not well designed for criticism, but it always treats its facts as ironclad.
Yeah.
So there's so much speculation room, but also we will never get the answers. But maybe there's a spinoff, so maybe they'll go deeper into it.
Give me Wizards, but as like an adult drama that's more thought out.
Give me Wizards, but just as a book of laws. I want to read the lore of the Wizards universe and have it be like canonical lore. And I don't care about the stories in it. I just want to know the world building. Because
then they like introduced the wizard school and stuff and other requirements you have to do the competition. It just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he turned her back into a bird and then gives the stone to Teresa. And then he like takes the bird and walks away. Like he's still with her. It's not like, actually, I'm going to turn you into a bird and I'm done with you. Or even just, I'm taking the stone and I'm done with you. It's, I want to be with you as a bird.
It's both pathetic and kind of cute.
It's really pathetic. He's like, I'm only worthy if you're a bird and we're together with you as a bird. And why doesn't she just fly away and live her life as a bird?
She could, but maybe their relationship is more complex than it seems. Where she's like, well, I'd rather have someone I know who can speak bird.
At least he can.
They never explain how he can speak bird, by the way.
She's a parrot. She can just talk.
Well, she doesn't in the movie.
Well, she whispers. She whispers.
But there's a whole scene where they're talking at like full volume.
Maybe it's part of the curse.
And he's like, that's right. We should abandon them. And she goes, squawk, squawk. And he's like, oh, you're so smart. I get why you're better than this. And she goes, squawk.
And he can speak bird.
He can speak bird.
She's like,
he's not he doesn't have powers anymore. So maybe her powers, maybe she still has powers as a bird.
Part of the curse was the only person you could talk to was this stupid fucking loser who lost his wizard competition. And that's why the second the curse was lifted, she's like, I'm fucking done with you. But now that she's a bird again, she's like, I have to stick with the one person that can understand me. Squawk. All right. Anyway, back to the competition. The orb is moving around again. Ooh. And then Justin turns Alex into a puddle. Like she starts to melt.
He used his against her.
Think Sky High, where he like melts.
Yes, it is the Sky High sidekick who just turns into a puddle.
And then Alex sees a flower and she goes, that's it. I have an idea. And then she sprouts up as a flower next to the orb, which is kind of cool.
It really does. I don't know how exactly that works, but sure.
It's because she was water. And
Justin just keeps running. I feel like he should do some magic to make himself go faster.
He should set her on fire or something.
He should just kill her.
What if you just
just magic up like a rock above her head and drop it and murder her?
I'm like, yes. Is this allowed? Are you allowed to just murder your competition?
Probably. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? I feel like it had to have happened in the Wizards universe where
Give me the Wizards lore. I don't care.
One sibling just like murdered the other as kids because they're like, I want to be the wizard.
I fully do not care about the Wizards universe as a whole generically. Like, I watched it as a kid enough to get like a lot of this stuff. I feel like the rules behind it are stupid, but I want to know exactly how stupid they are. The world that they created is fascinating because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because the like core guiding principles that are fully agreed upon are very unbalanced, unfair, and illogical.
Yes.
But they are always set in stone and very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know more.
Well, they're not consistent because they keep adding things to it.
Yes, they're consistent.
They never
in
go
the
back.
fact that everything in the pilot that is said to be true
is true.
Yeah,
they never go back on what they say except for the movie. But that's a little more forgivable because it is a movie. It was outside of the show.
I also have heard an argument before that, hey, they've already had the wizardry competition and everyone remembers it other than Max. We can't do the same competition again. And
so they change it just for their family.
Well, I think it also could be different every time for every family.
That'd be interesting. How do they decide this one? They're like, throw them in for the elements.
Whatever the magic says, the magic do.
The magic do.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's a flower next to the orb. Justin's running at the orb. She gets it just before he does. And she won. Oh my God, she did it. She's the family wizard. Whoa. It feels amazing.
Congrats, Alex. And she jumps in the air and does some spins.
Yes, she's like,
oh,
wizard. She's like glowing.
If I'm so perfect, why do I feel so limited?
She's about to break down crying. All right. Justin's like, I told you you were ready. And it's kind of sad. And then Dad comes over and he's like, all right, do the spell. And Alex's like, oh, okay. I don't know what to do. Justin, help me. And he goes, why would I help you? And she's like, because you're my brother? And he's like, I'm your brother? What? Oh my God, he forgot her. Why does the order happen like this? It goes
I fully agree. This is the first time I actually came up with a reason why it might happen.
My headcanon was always because she became a full power wizard.
Yes. My headcanon is the amount of wizard power you have is how long you can last against the spell. And that's why Max went first, because he's the weakest. Mm-hmm. And he started forgetting everything. Uh-huh. And then Justin and Alex were strong together, but then when he loses,
he doesn't have any power,
so he's immediately forgetting.
That's interesting. Yeah. I thought, because she's a full wizard now, it like kind of really delays it. I wonder at what point would she forget everything, though? Like, how much longer would it be?
Yeah. I don't know. We don't
get to know. Because Justin now forgot. And Alex says, no, please don't leave me. I'm your little sister. I taunt you and I tease you and I make your life miserable, but you love me anyway. You're everything I've ever wanted to be. I'm jealous of how smart you are and kind and nice you are. That means the same thing, but she says kind and nice. Please don't leave me. And Justin says, I'll never leave you. I don't know who you are, but I believe you. And she says, okay, what spell do we use? And he goes, I don't know. Like, what's the situation? And then he gets sucked into a tornado.
You know what happens when you get amnesia? You get sucked into a tornado.
You just forget everything.
Because you have amnesia.
Yeah. It's so funny, though, that she's like, okay, what spell? And he goes, I don't know. What's going on? Like, what's the situation?
Okay, bye.
I'm in a tornado now. And Alex is like, no, I don't know what to do. And the dad's like, focus, just try something. And she's like trying to come up with little rhymes of like, bring my brothers back. Like, she's just doing this so bad because the little rhymes she's doing is like, bring my brothers back to life or something. It's not like, undo the spell or make my parents have met each other. It's always just like, don't kill my brothers. She's doing a bad job.
Also, couldn't Jerry just look in the book and say, okay, here's where I saw in the spell what you need to do?
All it said was, you could probably do it if you were a full wizard. This book sucks.
this book is very convenient.
Okay. And she's crying and she can't do it. She says, please help me. And he says, I'm sorry, but I think it's too late. And then Teresa shows up and goes, no, it's not.
Oh my God.
I'm here.
How in the hell did she get here?
How did she get here?
We should make clear. When they went into the final wizard competition, they got teleported into this wonderful dimension of like a coliseum and beautiful area.
The sky is purple and they're in like some kind of magical dimension.
They have not teleported back to the Caribbean beach where they started.
No, they're still in the arena.
The mom is not a wizard in any capacity.
She does have the stone, but I think the stone only works for wizards.
Yeah, they made it, I believe so.
Otherwise, she could wish to show up where they are, but at that point, why not wish for the spell to be undone?
Yeah. So she just shows up and says, I got the stone. No explanation how she gets there. No one ever asks the question. We don't get to know. It's
something I didn't notice as a kid, but now I'm like, that's actually the biggest plot hole, is that she just shows up.
It's something where, did like the whole beach turn into the Coliseum?
No.
Yeah.
She just shows up. I have what you need. Here you go. And the dad goes, all right, you have to be careful. You only have one wish. If you do this right, you can get your brothers back and still be a full wizard. Which the dad's like, think for yourself.
Yeah, the dad's like, I'm still selfish though.
But Alex says, no, it's much more than that. I want everything exactly the way it was. And then, boom, cut back to when Alex and her mom were fighting. And the mom goes like, I knew when Justin tried to magically glue me to my chair, something was wrong. So it took them exactly back to that moment.
Yep. And she just drops all of the magic stuff that she got teleported back and holding and hugs her mom.
And hugs her mom. She says, I'm so sorry. I don't hate you. I love you. I'm so sorry about everything. And the mom's like, okay, you're still grounded? And she's like, yes, I can't wait to be grounded. And the mom's like, what?
The mom's like, this is weird. The mom doesn't have any memories of this.
Nope.
Not at all.
And then she goes out and she finds Justin and Max and they hug. And she's like, you're excited to see your brothers? And Justin's like, what did you do? And then she shows her little small magic orb. Apparently
they can just do that.
Apparently you can just show your magic off. They're like, are you a wizard? Yes, here's my power.
You want to see real power.
Do I look like I need your power? That's a Sonic reference for everyone out there. That's a Knuckles reference if I'm being real. Anyway, she shows her little baby orb that's smaller than when she was the family wizard. And Justin's like, you gave up your powers? You won. Why would you do that? Apparently, Justin and the dad were both like, yeah, you kind of deserve to keep your powers.
Well, I feel like they're like, she's going to be selfish and take it. But also, my big issue is, why does Justin and Max have memories of this whole thing happening?
Why do they remember everything?
It should be just Alex or nobody.
It's because it would have been lame for them not to connect back on it if it was just
And
Alex,
maybe, I guess she could envision that as a wish, because she's the only person out of we see as a wish that does it verbally. Because then the parrot didn't.
No, she says, I want everything the way it was. So I guess you're saying that was the wish?
Yeah. But maybe she was mentally saying, except that my siblings remember it. Ooh.
I love with the Stone of Dreams, you can always just add something. I wish for everything to go back the way it was, and I'm still a full wizard. Or I want everything to go back the way it was, and they still remember what happened.
Just fully makes it seem like Archie's goal of just having a parrot friend again. Very dumb.
Yeah, he should have also wished for magical powers for himself. Yeah. I wish my girlfriend was a parrot, and I'm still a wizard. But nope. That's not what happened. Anyway, Alex says, I didn't take the powers because I wanted to make sure nothing changed. And then Justin starts going like, all right, well, next time I'm not going easy on you. And they're like, ah. And Max says, hey, what about me?
I didn't even get the chance to play.
Why didn't Alex say, yeah, I didn't keep the powers because Max didn't even get a chance?
Because no one cares about Max.
Max saying, what about me, is just so indicative of the show, being like, he's here too.
The show, I feel like at some point wished it didn't have Max in the cast, especially later on in the show.
But he does a good amount.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like they wrote themselves into some plot holes where it's just not plot holes,
just like a barrier of like, oh, we have to pretend like he's in the competition too.
Yeah, when they really wanted to just kind of drop him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad part of the show. I think, as I was saying before, I think the best course of action would have been him winning. Because I think it would have been funniest.
No, he gets the sandwich shop.
Which is dumb.
All right, then they all like hug their parents and like, yay, we're all happy together. And then Javier comes over. Remember him? I thought this part was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, we did not need a conclusion on Javier.
We already had it.
We already had one. But he's like, he comes over and the mom's like, oh, Alex, you can leave for like an hour if you want. And Alex says, no, Javier, go find someone else whose mom isn't looking after them. I'm going to stick with my family. And Javier's like, damn, guess I have to go find a different 16-year-old to flirt with.
There's at this resort, there's a ton. So he's going to be fine.
Isn't that creepy?
It is creepy, but at least he's only doing it really to get money.
Is that better? I guess so.
It is better. You would rather have an old person flirt with you for financial gain than personal gain.
Yeah. All right, so then Alex is like, oh, everyone get together. I'll take a picture. And mom's like, no, actually, we don't need one. I'm definitely going to remember this without a picture.
Aww.
And then as they're walking away, the dad's like, oh, what if we go see some of the wizard sites? And they're like, no. And then the mom gets pooped on by the parrot. And then the movie's over.
Yeah, and we get to hear Selena Gomez's version of It's magic.
You know.
And the end credit scene is...
It's really weird.
It is... It's not unhinged because it doesn't feel weird that much. And it's nothing offensive. It's nothing like actually a scene. It's just little clips of everyone dancing at different points that they're dancing in the film. But they didn't have enough clips of them dancing.
Yeah.
So they just take some stock shots from the film.
Of them like running or something.
And they like put it in reverse and forward to make it look like they're like gyrating. And it's just weird.
It's weird.
And it's very unneeded.
It's an odd choice.
They could have just played the credits straight.
Yeah. Or done like some bloopers, but I think they do sprinkle in some bloopers of them like dancing. But it's weird.
Yeah. But that's the movie.
That's Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And Benji always like forgets how good this movie is.
Yeah, and I probably will forget it when we talk about it later because the truth is there's a lot of aspects of this movie that when I think about it, I'm like, I don't really care about the villain arc at all.
No, the villain really did nothing for this movie.
And I'm not as into the Wizards show as I feel like the core defenders of this film are. I feel like this works really well with the show. It
does, except for the problems we talked about with like the final wizard competition. Yeah. But I blame the show for that and not the movie.
And if I didn't have context of the show, I'm not sure how much I would have liked
but you're never going to be watching this actually without at least knowing a bit of the show. Yeah. Like otherwise, like why would you?
Well, you say that, but our next DCOM.
Our next DCOM is Big City Greens. We're only watching that because we literally watch every single Disney Channel original movie. I'm talking about like general public.
Yeah.
And Wizards was big enough that everybody did know about Wizards.
Yeah.
So.
But this is a movie that is definitely, to me, like kind of a definition of B tier where it does everything right but nothing excellent.
Yeah.
And I could hear an argument. You could be like, oh, the Justin-Alex relationship is excellent. But a lot of that's building off of the foundation of the show.
Yeah, whereas and they just play it off well and develop them well throughout the movie.
Yeah. And to me, it's just like, okay, there's some budget behind all this. But there's also a lot of scenes where it feels like filler at points.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they're going through a couple extra steps than they need for the actual plot.
Uh-huh.
Like, we didn't need them talking about how to find the cave. Not that that seems bad or anything. We didn't need to see them go through the quest 2 times in a row because the parents do it after the kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to... Yeah, there's just some choices in there that I don't love, but nothing that actually makes a negative impression. It just doesn't make it as positive as it could have been.
Yeah.
This to me, something I always used it and for my personal ranking, and honestly I feel like this happened for the house as well, for Jank House's ranking. We use this as like a barometer a lot.
Yeah,
where
it's a good like jump
did
off
you
point.
enjoy it more than Wizards? Wizards is a very safe one to say you felt this level of enjoyment of it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy it this or more or less? Because the amount of Wizards enjoyment you get when you watch it, it's not going much different.
Yeah, it's like it's not bad really. Like you're not watching it thinking, oh, this is a bad movie, but you're also not like super wowed by it. It doesn't stand out. It's not my favorite. I don't know how many, like, I don't want to say it's not anyone's favorite because there's going to be a lot of fans out there that love the show and love the movie and haven't seen every single Disney Channel original movie that say, like, I really like this one, and that's fine. But for us, for our kind of people, it's not going to be a favorite.
Yeah.
You know?
If you want a bad movie, this isn't it.
This isn't bad.
Yeah. But also, if you want the best good movie, this isn't it.
Yeah.
High School Musical, for instance, just to name one, is a better movie.
It's better.
And even if you don't like musicals, there's better ones. Like we talked about Minutemen briefly.
Minutemen I think is better. I think, like, Jump In is probably better.
Yeah. There's good movies that are better than this, and there are bad movies that are better than this. But it is still a good barometer because this is definitively not bad, and it's in the B. It's definitively a B tier movie to me.
Yeah. So final Jank House ranking for this was 47, so like right in the middle. Benji had it at 58.
I believe I had it in my B tier. I had it at the bottom of my B tier. Okay. I'll probably move that to middle or even closer to the top on a re-rank.
I have it a little higher at 43. Let's see. Did I have it in B? I did have it in B. I have it like mid to low B.
Yeah. So it's just a similar thing, and we're going to have different size tiers, and that's the difference. We don't have that different of opinions of the movie. It's the other movies around it that we have bigger differences.
Yeah, and our tiers are different sizes.
Yeah.
So
that's really what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Wizards. Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. If you want to send us any of your thoughts, you can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com.
Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on YouTube. Normally we would spin the wheel.
Yes.
But we are not going to be spinning the wheel. The next DCOM, it's a new DCOM coming out for the show Big City Greens.
Yes. And we know very little about that.
Yes. We have not watched the show, except recently we watched like half of an episode randomly on TV. And from what I saw of the show, it looked pretty good.
People say positive stuff about it, but we don't have much opinions on that. That movie, to be clear, comes out, June 7th? I should look at my calendar before making this claim.
So soon.
I think June 6th, because I believe it comes out the Thursday, June 6th.
Okay.
Our podcast is aiming to release on target for June 10th. Mm-hmm. There's always a chance with doing these DCOMs that we're unable to get all of that done.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick turnaround time. We're going to try.
Yes.
If we don't get it out that Monday, we do have a backup.
Yes.
Which we can just say is Radio Rebel.
Very exciting. We got Radio Rebel.
We went up to see one of our old roommates, and she loved Radio Rebel enough to make a podcast. So Radio Rebel is going to come out. The question is, will it come out as planned after Big City Greens, or will it come out before it because we couldn't get Big City Greens out in time?
Yes. So basically, our next two podcasts will be Big City Greens and Radio Rebel.
Yep.
Most likely in that order, might be reverse. So any questions about either of those, please feel free to mail them in. We won't be able to answer any about Radio Rebel. We might be able to answer them if you send them after this episode.
Yeah.
But we won't be able to answer them in that episode because it's already been recorded.
Yeah.
And yeah. Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for the next Big City Greens and then Radio Rebel within the next month.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Goodbye. Scenes from our next episode.
Hey, I'm Green and I'm in a big city.
I'm just a girl from the big country living in the big city.
I'm gonna go to space and take a spacecation.
We're just country folk going out to space.
My name's Cricket.
And I forgot the girl's name.
I'm colored yellow, but we're not the Simpsons.
We're yellow, but our last name is green. Is that their last name?
Probably. I don't know. It would make sense.
Some people in this universe are purple and pink and whatever.
I think there was
else.
A blue person too.
Yeah, people are just.
We've seen
colors.
8 minutes of this show.
And we're just some city folk. No, wait, we're country folk in the city.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Should we do Radio Rebel? I'm Radio Rebel.
I'm Radio Rebel.
Alright, that's enough.